Hi, John. How you doing? Oh, let me start the webinar. Sorry, I didn't realize you were still practicing. Oh, the camera looks so far. ¿Por qué no puedes? O sea, porque vi que María le mandó un secreto por ahí en el zapato. María le mandó un mensaje a Roberto. Roberto mandó el pato en el chat, y se lo pasó. Estamos en un edificio. Honestly, it's almost impossible. Are you going anywhere nice, Wayne?
I'm going to Ghana.
Oh, okay.
It'll be my first time in Ghana and only my second time in Africa.
Oh, where was your first trip?
Morocco.
En el piso, o sea, ¿cómo hizo este piso? Yeah, I've been wanting to go. Pero yeah, I want to go. Actually, I want to go to Kenya.
Tanzania.
Yeah,
For safari.
yeah. I want to go to Kenya. No, I don't know how they do it because I'm like, those flights are pricey. So it's like, especially in the years, so it's like you gotta really spend a good amount of time with you.
And I mean, you also have to, you know, do your research and plan. Because frankly, the flight to Ghana, I mean, depending on when you're going to the Caribbean, it could be just as expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Se puede mover a, o sea, no, hay una línea para lo del Zoom, cosas así. Okay. O sea, hay que moverse el dinero de allá. Yo no estaba, creo que Pearl seguía.
Va a sobrar mucho, pero no podemos hacer.
Pero mira, antes el fiber optics. El Zoom es parte de eso, parte de ahora. Hello, Summers. Can you hear us okay?
Sure.
Alright. Waiting for some folks in the physical space IRL to take a seat. We're about to get started.
It's been.
Okay. We still have, let me know if y'all hear background noise.
Yeah.
Alright, ready.
I found the meeting.
You know, maybe some.
Alright, how's everybody feeling? Good evening. Thumbs up for the Zoomers, hearts, smiley faces. Alright, welcome to our. They have it. I'm gonna have to put my teacher hat on. Welcome to our November general meeting at Community Board 12. Oh, October. Whoa, see? Okay, so at least I got a prize for paying attention. Welcome to our October general meeting. Wayne, sorry, please. I'd like to get started. We have a couple of things ahead of us and some changes to tonight's agenda. So welcome to our general meeting. I see a lot of new faces. My name is Catherine Diaz. I'm the chair for CB12. I'll be moderating tonight. Jared joined, up front. I don't know if the mic shows it. Sorry, the camera shows it by Anthony Viola, who's our first vice chair. If you are interested in public session and you are online, or if you have any issues online, you want to be able to reach out to him in the chat. He's monitoring it. We have our treasurer Leo, who's managing. our secretary Alexis Marnell, and our assistant secretary Daryl Cochran. So for tonight, I don't believe we have quorum yet, but if it's your first general meeting, essentially our general meeting is where we hear from our elected officials, from any community residents, and where we also get to vote on items before. So it's not the most like robust community dialogue meeting. For that, you definitely want to go to our committee meetings, which are a lot more intimate, and you're able to have kind of dialogue and say on different items and present and have presentations from other folks. You can join those in real life, or you can join on Zoom on our website. So for tonight, we had essentially a practice that we have that is within the New York City Charter. It was gonna be slated for 6 o'clock, and that's our public hearing. Our public hearing regarding our budget needs. So essentially, community boards are mandated, right? And it's part of our advisory role to say where we want the billions and billions of dollars that New York City has to go, and where we think in our district it is best prioritized. Because of life, we're gonna fold that into my chair report. And if there's anybody in person that wanted to suggest items, can you raise your hand? And I'll explain a little bit what that might be. Okay, so 2 people. All right, so I'm gonna fold that in. If you're on Zoom and you did want to speak to like items in the district, in the neighborhood that you wanted to see funded, and by items, I mean community projects, you can raise your hand and Anthony will take note of that. So we're gonna just play with timing in that way, but we'll follow the rest of our agenda as and just from some housekeeping. You can read along in any language if you are on Zoom. So if you prefer any other language, you can go on ahead and click that. And like I said, this is not the most like robust dialogue back and forth type of meeting. So we do try to kind of keep tight to the agenda. We know we have a lot of working parents and folks with other responsibilities in the space. So with that, we respect our time. So please, everybody gets 2 minutes to speak. Please keep it there. There's plenty of space. If you are in person and you want to talk to somebody or continue a conversation, you can always take that to the hallway. Or it's a great opportunity to come to our actual committee meetings to have those like more in-depth conversations. And outside of the public session, community board members are the only ones who are able to speak. So if you do have a question, a comment, a concern, like anything's running through your mind and you're not a community board member, we really encourage you to say it during the public session, even if you're not sure, because that's a space where you are able to speak and we can hear you out. Cool. Did I cover everything? Cool. Public session closes at 7. And all right, we'll get started with my chair report. So for tonight's chair report, I have 2 things in addition to our district needs statement. And let me just switch screens. Which is for community board members. I know as you've been coming in, Paola, Noemi, and Ebenezer have been asking y'all some questions. So if you do trickle in or have somebody who sits by you who walks in later, these reminders, we are signing up folks for 2 committees tonight. So the nominating committee, we do have elections for all of our elected officer positions in December. We need a nominating committee. So if you're interested in it, maybe you're still a little uncertain but curious, put your name down and I'd be happy to talk through it over the phone. And all in all, you can talk to, is there anybody here by a show of hands that has served on nominating committees in the past? Okay, great. Awesome. So if you're thinking about it, look at those people and you can talk to them. All in all, it's usually about like a 12-hour commitment in the next 2 months. A lot of it is online and over the phone. So it makes it a little bit easier to participate and it's a great way to know who your members are or our members are. So I definitely encourage that as that work is gonna get started like in the next week and a half. We're also signing up for our holiday end of year planning committee. I need some extra names on that. So if you're all about throwing a good time and a party and you got that like detailed touch, please sign up. And then the last thing is December. We got lots of holidays. People do tend to go away, especially because of school breaks. So we do have a poll going around, on paper. So if you do have a preference for when our December meeting takes place, please mark it for folks, for community board members who are on Zoom. The dates we're looking at is 16th, 17th, or 18th of December, okay? 16th, 17th, 18th of December. You can reach out to the board office or to any of us with your preference, and I know we'll probably circle back in the next week, just so we can lock that down. All right, second community announcement is around the Riverside Viaduct project, which we have seen. I know, and look at the people on Mofax that already make noise. We're here for it. It's been on the news, it's been in our inboxes, it's been in our meetings, we've heard it loud and clear. I know we also have a lot of drivers on our board and just regular folks, pedestrian and live in the area who have been frustrated by that. I would continue to we're aware, there are conversations happening with DOT, and also part of, what many of us maybe have read in the news is that it's also in litigation. So I would encourage, if there are folks who do have complaints, stories, images you want to share, send that to the CB12M email. It's on our website. It's on all our paperwork, how to get in touch with us. If you get our newsletters, it's also there. We encourage to be able to kind of collect all of your stories and feedback so that when we do meet with DOT, we are able to kind of share what's going on and what residents who are impacted are feeling and experiencing. So I would say that for now. Give me one second. Actually, yeah, I'll pause there and take questions.
Is the community board considering putting out a resolution for Riverside Drive West?
Oh, I'll answer.
Yeah.
So we sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, we're considering putting out a resolution.
Is the
Oh, that's good.
Got a resolution. I didn't hear.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leo Jimenez. I am the chair of the Traffic and Transportation Committee. We're in conversations with DOT. It's a little more complicated because it is a legal issue at the moment. I have a meeting with some DOT brass this Friday. Our ask is to have a meeting with our committee, chair, executive board, Councilmember Abreu, to see what's the next steps. So it's in the work. We are considering moving based on those conversations. So this Friday, I'll have more information, and Monday is our committee meeting, and we'll discuss them.
Follow-up question. After those conversations, do you have any plan, idea, or method to share what came out of those conversations?
Yes, I can send a follow-up email to the board, and then they can disseminate to our community board members.
Thank you.
Right, and we'll be discussing it then at our committee, so I encourage you to come join us. It's a fun committee.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna officially call the meeting to order at 6:46. We did reach quorum, in person, online, and we also are joined by members who are remote due to either unexpected or caregiving responsibilities. So, let me. Alright, so I know I started off with some random language of how district meets and what that is. So by New York City charter, part of a major function of our advisory board is, like I said, advising the city and city agencies what our priorities are in the district, right? So where do we want the billions of dollars to go within our within the city and within our district particularly? We do this process, or started this process in September. It closes formally in October, so on Halloween, on the 31st, we will be submitting that to the city. And though that information, and all the boards do that, that goes to our respective city council members and electeds. So that way, as they're prepping for budget negotiations in the spring, as they're reviewing data reports and assessment reports from the different agencies, they're able to take that into consideration at the city council and the respective agencies in terms of what they want to advocate for, right? So we are part of kind of like this, or this fall, in the fall, we're part of that citywide year-long process. What is it that we can ask for falls into 3 buckets. And that's capital, expense, and continued support. So capital is basically like everything from sewers and infrastructure and construction projects. Expense items usually are community programs, right, that we want to see funded, any operational costs. Maybe we want more staff of the respective agencies or different roles that we want to see that implemented in our neighborhood. And then there's the projects that are called continued support, which is basically like, we love that you're doing that, keep it going. And that can fall in either or. Historically, we have a pretty long list of continued support projects that we want to see reflected. That's time. Some of that, I'll just share briefly what we've had last year, what we do tend to see every year, which is affordable housing has always been at the top. And true affordability for folks who are at the lowest range of AMIs. We see everything from like speed cameras, more garbage pickups, more implementation of city support programs from let's say small business services or building inspectors, which we actually don't have many of to serve, not just citywide, but also within the district. So they run on literally anything and everything that makes our life easier and that government should be making our life easier on a day-to-day basis. And again, these are advisory. This year we had an unexpected change, and usually what's kind of like made this process, I think, difficult for a lot of community board members and really kind of frustrating, honestly, is that we've had to rank. So we had to decide between I want more garbage pickup and affordable housing. And so it would be a really long list of like 80, 90 projects that we would have to rank 1 through 100. This year it's changed. So now the funding items that we are ranking, or excuse me, not that we're ranking, that we are submitted are listed by agency. So now housing and sanitation don't compete anymore. We're just telling, the housing, let's say housing preservation and development, HPD. These are our priorities for you from 1 through 5. This is what we want SBS from 1 through 5. So what's changed a bit in this process is that in the last 2 months, every committee has ranked from 1 through 5, and those are going to be compiled and sent over to that respective agency. So no longer are we like doing the math and using SurveyMonkey, which, makes things a little easier, but I know there's trade-offs for every change. I want to pause there to see if there's any questions from board members about this. Okay. So,
I have a question.
yes, go ahead, Sonia.
Indiana from Housing disseminated some information regarding the budget to our committee.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the documents was from the Office of Management and Budget. And they have a 32 item timeline that covers the whole year regarding the budget, in which I only see our committee participating, or even our board participating in only one of those items. So I guess my question is, why are we not dealing with this budget throughout the year versus really, we only see it in October. We didn't put it in September. That's my question.
I think there's 2 ways to answer. So I don't know which report, I'd have to see the cover of the report to know which report. The formal process of submission is now in October, right? And that's a citywide process. But there's nothing that bars us as a board or committees to continue to engage in that, right? So if there are priority projects that the committees discuss, especially if there's new ones, for example, there are like that can continue to be discussed. Engage agencies, ask agencies about that between now and even when the budget passes and beyond. So that's something that just needs to be integrated into committee agendas throughout the year. And then in the spring, as we're gearing up for when city council and the mayor actually are like negotiating that, we can always raise resolution, right, of echoing, hey, this is still a priority. And I think in my experience, usually around that time, a lot of, and I know we have electeds here present, or the representatives, have raised up, hey, these are the priorities that we're coming into budget negotiations, even if it's at the state or city level. So.
Okay, well, my recommendation is that we do engage throughout the year,
Yeah.
and not just in the month of October.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I want to do now is that I think there's 2 people who, because the public hearing got folded into this formal hearing, who wanted to add items that weren't, either raised or just wanted to emphasize certain funding items for the board. So what will happen is that I have the list here, I can stop this screen share and start a new share. It is not a cute share, sorry, but it's essentially a spreadsheet. And so in real time, if there's an item that is raised that's not reflected here, we can just add that and that'll go into, let's say, number 5 for the Department for the Aging, as an example.
So I think you wanted to add something to the budget.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make space now, so Natalie, I'm sorry, what's it?
And then like our normal public session, each person will have 2 minutes to speak.
If there's anybody else who does wanna raise an item, just raise your hand and you'll follow them.
Where do we go?
Okay.
It's when you hear chimes.
Oh. Good evening, Community Board 12.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Natalie from the Hispanic Society Museum and Library, former CB12 member. And I'm here with my colleague Cynthia Fernholz. And we would like you guys, if given the opportunity, to consider lending your support to the Hispanic Society Museum and Library. How many of you have been? Love it. Okay, so Cynthia, would you like to say something about ongoing capital projects what we've been doing with our city money so far?
So just wanted to give a very quick update. We do have the support for DCLA Capital for a major project that we're gonna start undertaking, hopefully next year, depending on our Green Line meeting. And that's for one of the 3 buildings that we own on Avalon Terrace. Work is continuing, it's going, we're very excited, and there's a lot of movement in campus. And just wanted to let you know that that is ongoing and we're moving forward.
A big part of that is, of course, creating more exhibition and programming space that is ADA accessible, so that everybody in the community can feel welcome on the Hispanic Society. But we would ask also that you support the always free public programming at the Hispanic Society that employs artists and that collaborates with local organizations like Inwood Artworks, Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance, Mano a Mano, Mexican Culture Without Borders, and the Cloisters Museum, which even though it's part of the Met, it's in our neighborhood. All of this is free, open to the public, and as you know, an economic driver that brings people to spend money in our district. We want to be your hub, your cultural resource, and we want you to come and enjoy that campus. So please rank us for discretionary funds and invest in there. And we hope to see you at the Hispanic Society. New exhibition starts on November 6th, Spanish style, fashioning the golden age.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's me, it's me.
You've done this.
Alright. Anyone else who maybe didn't get to make it to a committee and advocate for a project?
Sir, in the booth, did you want to speak during this portion?
Not this.
Not this.
At least I don't. Thank you, though.
Yeah, no
Alright,
problem.
cool. So I will add that, we'll add that, and like I said, both under continued support and for the public programming under expense items. And this document will be submitted by Friday by our district manager. And after and such in the top of the year, the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, yes, Office of Management and Budget responds to the board. So we get all the responses of, we support this, but we don't really know how to make it happen, or actually this is already earmarked for funding. So we get those feedbacks, and that's prime time, to Sonia's point, to engage those city agencies and be like, well, wait a minute, how do we actually make this happen? Or if you can't make it happen, then what's the issue here? To see the fruition or anything else. So that's gonna be that process. So next if there's no more items, we'll keep moving forward with our district manager's report. So Albanese Smith.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Always is a pleasure being here. As you just reminded, I gave my report. I have an update on Audubon Plaza for you. You may recall that last year, during the summer of 2024, we had big promotions with the creation, overnight creation, should I say, about microwave creation of the plaza on Audubon Avenue between 165th, 166th. The Department of Transportation installed that plaza, we can say overnight. We have a lot of discussion because the way it happened, well, the plaza is there, and last month, Committee Board 12 passed a resolution supporting the permanent plaza there. So what happened is early this month, I got a phone call from New York City DOT informing us that they want to install an asphalt mural on Audubon Plaza between 165th and 166th. So they want to paint the asphalt, whether the roadway, they want to place it there. And this clarified the street there, removing all the markings that were there before. Also, I got a phone call from DOT asking for a hotel, also they call Alianza Cultural Center, asking for a space to explore the painting ends, et cetera, et cetera. So we had a meeting with the artist, Ms. Alisa Almonte, and we discussed, we showed her the space that we had to share with her. Also, the Alianza building in the Silverio also show her the space that we have there available for the painting, and she was asking. Okay. So after that meeting, we went outside and inspect the location, and I noticed that the street has a lot of small potholes, a lot of cracks, a lot of uneven space, and I asked that if DOT gonna pave that street. The artist didn't know. I contact DOT and the person from the DOT art program. That person said that DOT will not repave the street and that the painting is gonna go over like that. Immediately, I put my resolution passed by Community Board 12. I said it to that person. I said, listen, we can accept that you're gonna put the art on the plaza in that condition because it poses as a trip hazard for pedestrian and the children riding the bicycle, et cetera, et cetera. After a few phone calls, we agreed, the commissioner agreed to repave that street before the painting got on. And this morning I saw that DOT removed the stone at the two edges of the plaza, and I can predict that the paving gonna happen soon before the art is installed there. The Riverside Fire our chairperson gave us an update. We tried to have a discussion during the district service cabinet meeting this month, and both DOT and the contractor will represent the judge that they cannot say anything because this is a litigation and it's a legal matter, and they didn't share any information with that one. Anthony Avenue between 178th Street and 181st Street. A few months ago, New York City DOT installed new signals there to alleviate the traffic. And after the new signal were installed there, a nightmare happened there every day with the traffic. I observe that and I experience that every day when I come to work and when I go back home. And I convened DOT to have a site visit of this location. And last week, on Wednesday, the 22nd, we were there from 4 to 5 in the afternoon, and we observed what happening there. We observed that many drivers are confused with the green light going north and the two arrows making the right turn to go to the Bronx. And they cross all over and they jump the lines and they don't know what to do. Sometimes people start making the right turn from the middle lane, jumping in front of the two lanes with the arrows. They observe that. We also observe that many people, a large amount of drivers, they come from the Bronx, they make the right turn on Amsterdam Avenue, and they stop in the middle of the block, and they make another left turn to go to the ramp going to the George Washington Bridge, creating a cause there with the traffic and disrupting the flow. Also, DOT observed that. And we also observed that people park illegally in front of the radio hotel there. So DOT promised after that, we met with the marking people, the intersection control, and the signal people there as well. And they promised that they're gonna reconfigure the markings there, that they will recalibrate these signals, And also they want to create a dedicated line on the parking line there to make a dedicated line to make the traffic flow better. In order to do that, they will need to remove only one parking spot that is there. The entire block is no parking anytime and no standing anytime, but there is only one parking for a car. They sent me an email this afternoon asking for a letter of support from us. I shared already with the chair of our chair and also with the chair of Traffic and Transportation Committee. I believe we're gonna bring it to the agenda for next month to support that in order to improve it. They promised that all the implementation should be done by the spring next time, hopefully that we can alleviate the matter. And finally, I have a nice announcement. New York City Presbyterian Hospital informed me that a new restaurant will take place in the location that was occupied by Coogan's. You remember that they are Coogan restaurant for many years. A new restaurant gonna be there starting the spring next year, and the new restaurant will serve breakfast that Coogan did not serve breakfast. This is now we're gonna have breakfast there. Unfortunately, it's not gonna happen on the spring. Is there any question there for me? Yes, Wayne.
Last year, the community board passed a resolution concerning the former Rite Aid site, asking for two things. Asking for advocacy to have it redeveloped, but in the interim, ensuring that the property owner maintains it because the sidewalks are, there's garbage all over. Have you had the opportunity to follow up with DOT or the sanitation to see what they're doing to make sure that owner is maintaining its sidewalks?
Yes, I tried to get in touch with the Apple Group, I believe it is the owner, Castimastides. We visited many years ago when George Fernandez was the chair of the board. We had a visit to his office, we chat, and we have a good communication until COVID era. The lawyer that was my liaison there is not there, the telephone number changed. I tried to get in touch with them. Let me find a way if I can speak with Mr. Castimastides or his office, because they were very good and they really support every time I call them. If the garbage is there and they immediately respond. And we need to find out what they're gonna be doing there. You remember that the building that was there was demolished because the structure wasn't all that. But let's see what happened when we met with him, we asked him if there's somebody gonna be selling it, if he want to build something, and he said he doesn't want at that time to do anything. That was then. So, but I'm gonna follow up with the Apple Group, okay?
But I guess the question is, sanitation and DOT, are they, like any other property owner, are they inspecting, are they issuing fines? What are they doing to enforce?
I can try, and I have a few locations that I want the sanitation clean the weed there, and I haven't been successful in the last year doing so, but we're gonna continue with that, okay? Any other questions? I don't see any other question. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thanks, Ebony, sir. We're gonna head on over to our reports from elected officials. Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you about that, sorry. All right, so I know I called it at like 6:34, 6:45, around 6:46. To order, but we did not make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda. So is there a motion on the floor to adopt tonight's agenda?
Motion.
I heard Jay and seconded by Noemi.
Right, and who's second?
Noemi.
Joel
Noemi.
motion, Noemi second.
Are there any objections to tonight's agenda? Abstentions? Okay, hearing none, it is adopted. Is there a motion on the floor to adopt September's general meeting minutes?
Did we get?
Did we get that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we please get things emailed as PDFs? Because Airtable is wonderful from a desktop. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't from a phone. So if the expectation is that people are going to read the stuff on Airtable, that assumes that their apps are compatible. I'd like, yeah.
Great point.
Yeah, I'll take Richard's hand and then respond. Yeah.
My comment's very short. It's just to add an amen to what Liz just said.
Okay. I'll talk to the office and work on that and double check on to see what we can do. We do get things last minute often, and so that's why Airtable's kind of been the reason why, right? So that way it's not like 50 emails a day. But I think let's see, hearing a lot of the feedback, let's see what we can improve. With that reaction from the crowd, let's table the September adoption to next month.
Well, they were submitted on time.
They were,
Submitted
I
on
know,
time.
I read them.
I have a question.
No argument there.
No, it's sorry, darling.
So what is the timeline for the minutes to be submitted or the document? Because they comment that they were submitted on time, what is on time? Looking at my email, it was submitted at 12:52 PM. Given that most of us work here, so the minute or the amount of documents submitted at 12:52 PM to then vote at a meeting at 6:30 PM, when is that time to read the documents?
Yeah. Great point, Adam. Great point. And accurate. The goal is always the Friday before. Does that always happen? No. That way folks, and especially for licensing committees, that timeline could vary wider depending on the number of items. So we'll table it, not to Alexis Saul, but we'll table it for next month. Okay. We're gonna backtrack then to elected officials. I think let's start on Zoom since we've been hearing a lot from people in the room. I think Diana will be first.
Yeah, so we'll start on Zoom. First person, we did have Diana, but we also have Tatiana McGuire representing Assemblymember Manny De Los Santos. So from whichever of you two are speaking, you can begin and you'll have 2 minutes.
Okay, Tatiana.
You can unmute yourself and begin whenever you're ready.
Okay, hello everyone. So good evening, everyone. For those who don't know
Oh,
me,
sorry,
my
give
name
us
is-
one moment.
Oh,
You are very low in the room.
can you? Okay. Can I be?
Tatiana, can you try saying something again?
Hello.
Very well.
Hello.
Tech is great, except when it's
All right, let's try again, Tatiana. Sorry.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Go to the. She closed.
Hello.
Speak, so we won't sound.
Yeah, I would say, Ty or OC, do you mind, saying something just so we can?
Yep, we're good.
I'm sorry, did you
Okay, you
ask?
guys can hear me?
Yeah, they're all pretty soft.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Now let's try and project a little bit more.
And just to clarify, you have 3 minutes, by the way.
Okay. Thank you. So for those who don't know me, my name is Tatiana McGuire. I serve as the Assembly Members Legislative Aide. So this week for our office, we have several community events that we're joining, including like Kicks for Kids sneaker giveaway at a high school for law and public. The Teacher Center grand opening at Juan Pablo's school. And we're also hosting a Pumpkin in the Heights at the Amsterdam Plaza in our district. We'll also be celebrating like Halloween across the district. So from like the Art, Star, and the Rain senior centers. And we also have Inwood Monster March on Halloween. I just wanted to say that our office is continuing to support residents with housing, NYCHA, SNAP-related cases, serving more than 180 constituents last week alone. We're also advocating legislation efforts for housing preventions, animal welfare, youth health, domestic violence preventions. The legislative and budget updates will be soon. will be shared soon, and we will continue to review proposals and prepare for the upcoming session. Lastly, I want to highlight that the state is working on a solution to support families impacted by the recent federal cuts. So Kathy Hochul recently held a rally with the New Yorkers affected by the Republican-led reductions to critical programs and announced $3 million in emergency food assistance funding. Additionally, the state is included in suing Trump administration to protect SNAP benefits during the ongoing government shutdown. So just to let you guys know that your state legislators are continuously standing up for working families and the people who rely on those essential programs. I thank you guys for letting me present today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I'll be happy to answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Next up, we have a question in the room. I'll repeat it back to you in case you can't hear it.
So it's great to know that the assembly member is rallying with the governor, but is there anything that the assembly member is able to do in terms of, I don't know, emergency assistance for SNAP recipients so that they can buy food? I don't know, I'm grabbing at straws here, but 3 million people are about to not have SNAP benefits.
I can support with that. Hi, y'all. This is Dana Pichardo, the Assemblyman's Chief of Staff, T, and then you can back me up with whatever it is that the guidance is from the governor's office. So right now, we know that the power of the purse comes from the congressional offices, right? And we are in full communications with our Congressman Adriano Espaillat, right? And we are going to back him up in whatever it is that we need to, which is why the rally was held on Monday with the governor in support of whatever it is that he needs to make sure that we properly administer any funds that may come, but we know that will not be coming in November. So at this time, the governor has secured 41 million, but from that 41, 30 million is going to be used as an emergency plan for food insecurity. We are waiting to see what that guidance looks like. We are hearing that there's going to be pop-up food pantries. We're trying to figure out internally what that's going to look like when it comes to distributing funding for folks that rely on food stamps. How would that look like? So we're actually just waiting for guidance at this given moment. We encourage you to tune in and to follow up any necessary steps that we will need in order to move forward with making an ask. Right now, there is a letter that is being circulated from Jessica Gonzalez Rojas, where she is actually asking the governor for more money, because I know 41 million sounds like it's a lot, but it's not enough. And I think we are all in agreement of that. So just tune in. Let's see the guidance that comes from the governor's office, from the leadership, and see how we can be an ally. And if not, let's just tune in to see what it is that we need to make sure that we're advocating for.
Thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, we are only taking questions from board members. Tanisha, I see your hand if you want to ask a question.
Why, thank you, First Chair. Yes, I do. I might have a question and a comment. Hi, Deanna. Hi, many peoples, love y'all. But first of all, when we talk about our leadership, we knew that this was coming for a while. And we're about 4 or 5 days out. And for me, it's unacceptable to just now be hearing a plan. People are already trying to make it month to month, even if they do receive SNAP benefits. It's irresponsible to our constituency, to our community. to be 4 or 5 days out and have a press conference and think that that will appease us. What needs to happen is the state needs to cover the SNAP benefits. Our fiscal year 2025 budget was $252 billion. The same way that Kathy found the 30 million, 40 million, she need to go find the rest of that. Please take my comments and my concerns back to the assembly member, and I'm sure that my fellow board members agree with me. Pop-up, giveaways is downright disrespectful. And I don't like it. And me and other, in my capacity as second vice chair and in my capacity as a community leader, I want to say unacceptable and do better. We can't follow leadership if there's no leadership to follow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanisha. All right, with that, we will go to our next speaker, which is Freynet Amelia from Councilmember Armadillo Rosa's office.
Hi, y'all, from the Bronx Museum of Arts. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the community updates that we have. We have a block party this Friday as part of the mini series that the Assembly Member's Office listed. We have our annual Halloween block party that's 3 to 6 in front of our district office. Please come, bring your kids, share it with your education communities. And it's supposed to be a fun, safe time for families. We're providing candy, face painting DJs. The firefighters might bring their truck, pending there not be a fire. Please, nobody light anything on fire. We want them there. We also recently co-named a street after the beloved William Billy Bang Thomas on 156 in Amsterdam. Please visit. And thank you so much to Community Board 12. You guys were instrumental in getting that done. And I know that the Thomas family is incredibly grateful for that work. Moving forward, recently there have been a lot of issues with the water uptown for various reasons. We've had a water main break. We've had water shutoffs for repairs that had to be extended because of leaks. And we have also had discoloration in water. The water discoloration has come from weather patterns. We know climate change is a very real thing. It's impacting us. We're an environmental justice community. Those natural minerals that are in the reservoirs are discoloring the water. DP has flushed the water. It's safe to drink. For all of these issues and for any issues in particular within your households, please report those to 311. That way we can better track what's going on. We can assess the level of damages. We can have a record of what's been happening and be able also to follow up and put pressure on agencies when the response isn't there. Finally, just down at City Hall, some legislative items we have stated tomorrow. We'll be rallying with the Construction Justice Act workers who are fighting for a combined minimum wage package for construction workers that are usually immigrant, Black and brown workers and a local hiring aspect. So that means that if we're building a publicly funded project with city dollars, they should also be paying their workers a specific minimum wage and hiring locally to bolster the local economy. We're also passing the daily news resolution, my favorite, the Too Tough to Die resolution in support of those workers who've been severely laid off, their newsroom cut, and they're supposed to be covering 8.5 million people. They're down to 65 journalists. And it's really upsetting that our hometown newspaper is being gutted by venture capital firms. So evil. The Committee on Civil Service and Labor, of which Carmen is the chair, also held a hearing on emergency management and first responders. A lot came out of that hearing. That also had to do with a lot of workforce issues. People have been reporting that 911 has been going to voicemail or there's been delays in response time. All of these things can be found, including with hearing reports and video of the hearings on our website, which is council.nyc.gov. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them now. If I can't answer them, I'll get back to you.
Great. Good timing. I do see a question from two folks in the room, starting with Steve Simon.
Hi, Freynet. I'm on this water main and discoloration issue. I'm hoping I've invited somebody from DEP to come to my next committee meeting on Thursday, November 6th, the Health and Environment Committee to discuss this issue. I'd appreciate it if you could perhaps help encourage them to do so and to have a representative there to answer the community's questions on the matter and perhaps you could also come. I would hope you could be there too, to help with the conversation.
So we've spoken to DEP about that because we've been frustrated with the amount of things going on. And we understand that the infrastructure is over 100 years old, and with that comes a lot of issues. But at the end of the day, it causes severe disruptions for all of our residents. It's so inconvenient to not have water when you have to go to work and get your kids ready for school. So we have pushed for them to do a larger briefing with the elected officials and the community board, just so we can talk about these larger projects, what that could mean, what kind of funding, what kind of help we need, and just assessing the damages that need our attention. So yes, Steve, we highly support that and have pushed them to do it.
Well, let's have the discussion in public so that members of the public and the community can have their questions answered. And I'll pursue this with you offline, because I need your help on the larger issue here about determining how much of the infrastructure needs to be replaced.
Okay, we have another question from our secretary.
No, I was just gonna ask if she could put her report, send me her report, because I could not hear a lot of it, and there's a lot of good stuff. A.Marnell, CB12 @gmail.
Did you get that? Send your report to our secretary.
Send her report.
Yes. Any other questions from board members in the room or online? No? Okay. Fernette, thank you so much for your time. Our last from the virtual electeds is Ian Boldeston from Councilmember Shauna Brady's office.
Hey folks, thanks for having me. So I'm in person. Hopefully I can join, or sorry, I'm online. Hopefully I can join in person next time. But my name's Ian. I'm new in Councilmember Brady's office, and I'll be attending the CB12 meetings on our office's behalf. So looking forward to getting to know folks. Kind of the biggest news for our office is regarding the stalled Riverside Drive Viaduct project between 153rd and 161st. We had a rally this past Friday. There was a large group of members of the community, folks from River Arts, River Terrace, other affected buildings in the neighborhood. We also had a really big press presence as well, which was great because we're trying to raise the pressure, basically the public pressure on DOT and Judd Law, who's the contractor, to move quicker in providing more transparency to the community on what's going on with no work happening, and also to try and pressure them to come to an agreement in court with their ongoing litigation so work can resume ASAP, and that the city pursues I think an agreement that'll put the community first in terms of trying to get us the quickest timeline to get the project wrapped up. So I'll continue to keep everybody updated on what's going on with that and any potential progress we have. For upcoming events at the office, this Thursday, we're going to have HPD there to help folks out with housing issues. They'll be there from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And, our office is on the corner of 141st and Amsterdam. And then the following Thursday, November 6th, we're going to have a veteran services officer at the office as well. And they'll be there to help veterans obtain the benefits that they've earned. So, feel free to spread the word or stop by on that. And then lastly, participatory budgeting is the cycle has started again. We're collecting ideas for how to spend, $1 million of capital funding in the district, whether it's stuff, with schools, with parks, other public spaces. I'm going to be sharing a schedule later this week as well of where we'll be tabling over the next month doing outreach and collecting ideas. So feel free to stop by or come by the office and also submit ideas online. So yeah, those are the main points from me. But thank you again for having me, and yeah, looking forward to attending meetings from here on out.
Thanks, Ian. Are there any questions from board members for Ian? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the representatives in the room, starting with Lori Tobias Cohen, who represents Congressman Adriano Espaillat's office.
So sorry.
Good evening. Are there any new members or guests from the community? Okay, so I'll just quickly, just so you have an understanding, I'll just quickly run through what we do in the district offices of Congressman Adriano Espaillat. In our Harlem office, we have 2 immigration specialists. They help people with their documentation, they help people with advocacy with USCIS. They help people track the invitations that are, issued to bring over family members, et cetera. Anything big or small, they will get involved and help the constituents in that way. In addition to that, we have a member of the Wounded Warriors. These are veterans who are paid to be present in congressional offices to help the vets in the district with any of the many, many issues that our veterans have. And generally, we help with all the same things that most of the offices help with. We help with housing. We advocate for constituents with their landlords, with the city to get, to press the landlords to do the right thing in terms of the repairs, et cetera, with helping with advocacy to legal services when people are threatened with eviction, and with applications for SNAP or SCREE or DREE, which are all very important for many, many of our constituents. So that's a brief run through, and you can get my contact info from the community board office. Needless to say, the main concern now is the status of the shutdown. And as you know, the Democrats are in the minority. They are waiting for the Republicans to summon Congress back to DC. That has not happened yet. And I'll just read a few statistics. The congressman is the chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. And this is a snapshot of what's going to be happening to one community. 15 million Latino families, federal workers, and small business owners are going to be drastically impacted by this shutdown with loss of revenue. About 42 million Americans rely on SNAP, on food stamps. Half of the states have already confirmed they will not be able to issue food stamps in November. SNAP funds, just to clarify, SNAP funds are not guaranteed during a shutdown, unlike Social Security or unlike my salary. 1 in 5 Latinos, is that me? That's too bad, there's has to see that. 1 in 5 Latinos rely on SNAP. 86,000 postal workers and 2,500 air traffic controllers. On, and you can extrapolate from that about other communities. I just want to share, it's easy to be demoralized and feel disempowered. But the congressman is recommending, especially in regard to ICE raids, that people prepare, that the schools set up safe corridors, that people rehearse in houses of worship how they're going to deal when ICE descends. We don't even have a way of knowing if the people out there with their masks, etc., and their toxic chemicals are actually members of ICE. All you need to do is go into a hardware store. But he's going around the country and seeing how smaller cities are responding creatively. And he says we have to get ready for an escalation in New York City. Thank you.
Thank you. Before you step away, okay, I see one from Liz.
Thank you for continuing to do your job, even though you are not at the moment getting paid for it. There's a lot of you out there
Any other questions from board members?
I have a question
Anyone
online.
online? Yep, Tracy, go ahead.
You just stated that the congressman is telling constituents that they need to prepare for schools and housing of worships, so forth and so on. Does the congressperson have a to-do list about what particular things people should do to prepare?
That's in preparation as a result of the two very recent trips that he took out of state and what he observed in other cities. So it is very much on the agenda, and he is advocating for that at all of the various public meetings that he attends.
You have one more question from a board member, Tanisha?
Yeah, hello, thank you. And while I appreciate you still working while you're not getting a salary, a lot of us don't get salaries for the volunteer work that we do for our community. We do it because it's our community. So that's that. Second, we are a very diverse community. So when you come report, I would like to hear what's being done for the constituents as a whole. That would be great. And third point, like I said, with Assemblyman Santos representatives, this SNAP thing, this thing of people not getting their benefits, we're a few days out. And people are, on the edge, thinking that they're not going to be able to feed their families. So I would love to hear about. Thank you, Congressman, for traveling the country or whatever. But what are we going to do? What are, the community board members, when our people are calling us, our community members are calling us, I feel very uncomfortable taking back today what I heard to my community because there's no answers and there's no solutions. So, we would love, the community would love, I would love if we would have better plans than, playing the blame game. Because, we can pass the buck as much as we want, but at the end of the day, it's the Congress as a whole responsibility to do what they need to do for the people, which includes our congressmen. So, please take back to him what I have said. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanisha. Okay, next is Edgar Taveras from State Senator Robert Jackson's office.
Good evening, CB12. My name is Edgar from Senator Jackson's office. The first thing I wanted to report was last Thursday we held a town hall meeting with about 200 tenants, if not more, representing about eight or nine buildings in two portfolios, one being City Skyline, and which owns two buildings in our Senate district, and the rest were from Pinnacle Realty. City Skyline had defaulted on property tax payments, and so there's a lot going on with that, and then Pinnacle, in the middle of what they had going on, being investigated for a number of buildings, ballooned into 90 buildings from 30, being investigated for filing for bankruptcy, which means that their buildings would be facing foreclosure. And so we gathered all these tenants in order to inform them of their rights. We had legal representatives from Manhattan Legal Services. We're also coordinating on future steps, next steps with Legal Aid Society, Met Council, et cetera, in order to properly represent and also help the tenants from all of these buildings. It's much more than just the 8 that we had at the town hall, but yeah, so that's one of the first things that started as of last week. We also are, coordinating with we're speaking with members of not just this community board, but other community boards who are all in our district who are also facing issues of brown water. Some has actually been muddy water. And so there's a lot of there's been issues not just for the uptown area, but also in the Bronx. And so we're also working with different city agencies and property managers from these different buildings in order to help correct what's going on. Aside from that, we already understand what's going on with SNAP. And in the midst of that, if you are an active SNAP recipient, and let's say, you still have requirements in order to keep your case active, you want to continue doing those things, whether or not the government shutdown continues. Because when the government shutdown is over, you don't want to have to apply all over again and start from scratch because your case got deactivated. So that's one piece of advice I definitely want to give about that.
Great timing. Everyone's on time tonight. I do see a question, Steve Simon.
Well, as I said to Fredette earlier from Carmen's office, I also invite you to come to my committee meeting on Thursday, November 6th, and encourage you to also alert people to the fact that this should be an opportunity where they can ask questions of DEP about the water issues. But let me also, I'm concerned about the Pinnacle issue.
Yeah.
And you're saying 90 of their buildings are being foreclosed on?
No. They are right now, they're in court because they filed for bankruptcy. So those buildings are facing foreclosure. But it's not determined that it's going to happen just yet. No.
Well, is somebody representing the tenants in the bankruptcy court proceeding? Are we trying to get those buildings placed?
It hasn't
some
gotten that far yet.
administrator?
It hasn't gotten that far yet.
I think this should be a topic for our housing committee. Somebody should intercede in this proceeding to protect the interests of the tenants.
Yeah, so that's why we not only did we call for this town hall meeting, but we also made sure that we had Manhattan Legal Services involved. Legal aid is already representing a number of buildings in the area. And so is Met Council, so we're coordinating to bring it all together.
Right, but this may be an opportunity to get the buildings placed under some receivership or have a 7A administrator appointed, have somebody else manage the buildings.
That's the most likely scenario, yeah. But again, because of the legal proceedings, especially dealing with Pinnacle, are not there at that stage yet. There is no determination as to what's going to happen just yet.
Well, but you're saying they're now in bankruptcy court?
Yes.
Well,
that's late.
But it doesn't mean that they'll lose possession of their buildings because of that. Yeah.
Maybe hopefully it will.
Any other questions from board members? Seeing none, I just want to confirm before we move on to Mario from the Borough President's office, did I miss any representatives from elected officials? I don't see any online or in person, so we will now go on to our wonderful Mariel de la Cruz from the Manhattan Borough President's office.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. My name is Mariel de la Cruz. I am representing Borough President Mark Levine today. For new board members or for community members, Porfirio Figueroa is the representative for this district. He is also the Deputy Director of Community Affairs for the Borough President's office, so you are in good hands. But you will see me every so often. So thank you so much for those who participated in our leadership training this week. We're excited to share new training on topography, the city budget, and community boards and archiving institutional knowledge, which is incredibly important as we think ahead to the community board member term limit, as I know folks have been concerned about that. We also provided our yearly mandatory training on conflict of interest, EEO, and implicit bias. I'm sorry, I realize I am very loud, so I should probably step back a little bit. We do have a report of everyone who attended these sessions, so thank you. For those who are not able to make these trainings, don't worry. Just like the previous year's training, there will be there will be on the MBPO's YouTube channel in the coming weeks. For mandatory trainings, we do expect folks to take them, and honestly report on having taken them. When board members reapply, they're asked to self-attest. Attest as to which training they have taken. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Porfirio. Like I said, he is the representative for this district. Also, in partnership with the Hebrew Free Loan Society, there are zero interest personal loans to help eligible federal employees affected by the government shutdown. So as we've been discussing today, it is something very scary. It is not something that happens every other day. And also planning becomes difficult when federal funds have been cut in some instances, and the state has been covering already efforts to make sure that people are fed with different organizations. So if there's anything else to report on that issue, we will make sure that the community board has the full information. And I thought it was Catherine's last meeting, so I had a whole speech plan, but that will happen next month.
2 more months, December.
Oh gosh, we're in October. Okay. Well, I was early and I'm not happy to see you go, but I had a whole speech.
Yeah. More time to work on it.
Thank you so much.
Any questions from board members for Mario?
And thank you to all that came to the college fair we had.
I don't see any online and I don't see any in person, so thank you so much.
Have a good evening. I'm usually more animated, but it is cold outside, so I'm not.
All right, we are now going to move on to the public session. As a friendly reminder, when you are called on, you will have 2 minutes to speak, just 2 minutes. We're going to start with the online public session because there was only one person who was going to speak, but I no longer see them. So we may just flip to.
I'm here.
You, Maria Lady, you're here?
Yes.
Oh, you were upgraded. Okay. So you may begin. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Marilady Pimentel. I'm the bilingual community organizer We Act for Environmental Justice. And I want to let you know that we changed our date of our November membership meeting. Now it's going to be November 15th. This one is the last one of the year. I encourage you, all of you, to come and to participate because we're going to speak about our policy agenda 2026. So come to hear about our policy initiative and campaigns, and we will also recognize our members who have been supporting our organization for years. It's going to be a side event, and we all will have a celebration at the end of our meeting. And please come to share your ideas and collaborate with us on that. Thank you so much. I'm going to put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. All right, that was it for the virtual public session. So we will now move on to those in person. I do want to start queuing up people. So the first person to speak will be Danita Nichols from the New York Public Library. So if I can have you step up while she is stepping up. I also would like to cue Daniela Saavedra and Omar Camps Cameron. If we could have you queue up over on this wall to my left, that would be great. Okay, and once you begin speaking, you'll have 2 minutes. No, you're in the right place.
All right. So it's actually 2 of us tonight. Danita Nichols, Inwood Library, Vianella Rivas from Washington Heights Library. And tonight we're going to talk about services to teens because an exciting thing is happening as of next week. Fort Washington Library is opening its teen center. And this means all 3 of the uptown libraries have a dedicated teen center, which means additional staffing, additional tools, like the most exciting, the one everyone gets the most excited about is a 3D printer. And believe me, the kids get very excited about that. I was gonna bring something, but I somehow forgot it. So that's, the opening is on Thursday, November 6th from 3 to 5 p.m. I will be, but I'll leave some more over there too, if you want to grab. I was asked last week about, asked last month about contacting all three libraries, so here, this is just a general, types of things you can get for teens, from the collections to the college and college preparedness to all of this stuff, plus how to contact at all three libraries. So I'm gonna leave all of those and give you Vianella from Washington Heights.
I just want to emphasize some workshops that we have at the Washington Heights Library. And one of them is the one-on-one college career counseling section.
Can't hear you.
Closer to the mic.
I would like to emphasize one of the workshops that we have at the Washington Heights Library, and that is the one-on-one college career counseling sections that we have for teens. This is a very well attended program, and we have a young adult librarian who has taken trainings for this counseling sections, and she is having them every week at the library. I also would like to bring to your attention that in the library we have a collection, a special collection for teens, and related to the collection, we also have workshops that the teen librarian do it for college, for people that would like to apply for college. And one of them is financial literacy workshops, and then we have the books linked to the workshops, like Money Out Loud, talking about money matters for teens, and things like that. Thank you. Right.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Daniela Saavedra to speak about Mr. Softy Truck. Daniela. Hey, you're back there. So I'm gonna have you, I'm gonna actually place you after, I'm assuming you're Omar. Okay, Omar Camps Cameron, speaking about the Hudson.
Thanks so much. Hi, sorry, just a very quick personal question. My fiance and I have been planning our wedding for September of next year at the Hudson Restaurant. And we were just wondering if the proposed pier renovation is going to affect operations, and if so, if we should plan to have our wedding somewhere else.
Big man.
Oh,
Steve.
They will not affect the restaurant.
Congratulations.
That's wonderful news. Thank you so much. Okay.
You have to invite him. Now.
You're on the list.
When is the wedding?
September 26th of next year.
Okay, let me get your information. We're probably not even gonna be in construction by then.
That's wonderful news, and I'll also let the event planner at the restaurant know, because he seems to have no idea. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. That's wonderful news.
It's a beautiful location.
Yeah.
Look at that.
All
All right, next we have Daniela Saavedra about Mr. Softy Truck. I could have you speak, step up, and then once we get to speaking, you'll have 2 minutes, okay?
Okay, my English is not perfect. I speak Spanish. Is possible? Okay.
Sorry.
Ahora
She's the one who put the complaint, but I am the one who own the business. I just want to ask you guys, how many of you love ice cream? All right. Well, we are part of the franchise, Intersofty. I'm pretty sure you guys know. And we are facing right now some issues with food trial in the food trial park. We have been working on that park for probably 5-6 years already. But this is the year we are dealing with again some issues. Some people, we don't know them, but they are being put in complaint, again, the truck. We don't know what are the reasons, but they don't let us work the way we wanna to. So, I don't know if this is the room that I should, ask for some help, but, we are trying to see if there any way that, we can get out, some, I don't know, help. Yeah.
What are the complaints you get?
Yeah, what are the complaints?
Well, we don't know where the complaints coming from, but again.
What is it?
Okay, what, we don't know, we don't know. The Department of Park Recreations are telling us that we cannot be there. Even though we have a concession, with the Parks and Recreation for, 5 years, when we made a bid for the park, but they switched for the ice cream truck for a push car, because people keep complaining about the trucks. But we don't know what are the reasons.
Steve. Yeah, well, we would recommend, so we do have committees, the chairs, I see them raising their hands, they would be your best resource. To talk to Luana, she's the chair of our Parks and Cultural Affairs Committee, we also have our chair of our Small Business Committee back there, to all right. Talk to them, they'll be able to help you.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
Come on. Okay, next, I'm gonna queue up the next three speakers, folks, next three speakers. So the next one is gonna be Tom Bosco, speaking about Enwood Farm. Followed by Melissa Delaney Del Valle, speaking about one of tonight's agenda items, happiness license. Followed by Adam Wiesen speaking about the same thing. So if I could have Melissa and Adam queue up on the wall to my left, please. Are you Tom? All right, I'll take it away.
Thank you. My name's Tom Bosco. I'm the owner of Inwood Farm. I just not spoken off. I don't know what that is.
Love Inwood Farm.
I'm crashing in here. It's good to see everybody and I'm glad to be a part of the meeting. I had one thing that wasn't on my mind to talk about, which since there's a lot of talk about food insecurity, I want to bring something up. Not a silver bullet, but there are two events that are happening in our community. One is the New York City Chili Bowls in its 10th year. It's at Good Shepherd Church. It's something that I started 10 years ago. And it attracts about 350 to 400 people, and every single dime collected at it goes to support the Cabrini Food Pantry, which feeds about 400 people a week.
When is it?
Thank you. It's November the 8th. Yeah, November the 8th. And you could hit me up at trbosco@gmail for more information if you can't find it. The other one is a turkey trot that we do on Thanksgiving morning. And again, every dime there goes to support the food pantry. That said, I am the owner of Inwood Farm. We're up for a liquor license renewal. We made it out of committee on approval. There were a couple of no's, which surprised me, and I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to advocate for my business. We love the community, but also if there's any feedback that I can take so that I can better operate my business as a member of this community, I would gladly take that. I live in Inwood. I've lived in Inwood for 12 years and I've been a business owner in that community for 5 years. So I'm here to answer any questions, concerns, or take compliments.
Love the restaurant, love what you do for the community. I feel like it really brightens that corner up. So just thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tom. So for reference, that is agenda item or resolution number 3. When we do get to the part for Cedar to speak about those resolutions, board members feel free to raise questions or comments at that point in time. All right, we're gonna go to the next agenda item, which is Melissa Delaney Del Valle about the happiness license, and this references resolution C tonight. All right, once you begin speaking, you'll have 2 minutes.
Good evening, Community Board 12. I'm Melissa Delaney Del Valle. I'm a 23-year-long resident of Inwood, living at 4915 Broadway. But I'm a novice to community board proceedings, so forgive me if I misstep here, if I don't do this right. I am learning as I go. So what brings me here this evening, along with a couple of my neighbors, is to share concerns about a proposed license for a cannabis dispensary, Happiness, seeking to open at 4925 Broadway, a storefront that is exactly next door to a major egress to our building at 4915 Broadway, which you can see in this image, which I've just shared at the table. Our building is the primary residential building on the block of Broadway from 204th to 207th Streets, and it's the only residential building that opens onto Broadway on that block, with 96 units and over 200 residents in the building. We've got a range of concerns about this business opening, and while we appreciate that this meeting is not the ideal forum to have robust dialogue about that, we would have come to the task force meeting had we known that it happened on October 6th. But there was notice posted on the window of 4925 Broadway, but it was behind the gate and not visible, which you can see in this image as well. So within our building at 4915 Broadway, there's several places where that notice could have been placed, whether it was our front door, whether it was in our vestibule, whether it was in our mail room, whether it was on the door of the office, and whether any kind of attempt had been made to speak with our super Emil Petrovich, but that never happened. Had it happened, we would have been at that meeting. So what we're asking the community board today is to consider postponing the vote on that resolution tonight for the next meeting, such that we can actually participate in the civic process and be a part of the conversation to raise the concerns that we have at the next task force meeting, which is happening on November the 3rd. Thank you.
No.
So I think because it is going to be a resolution, board members will just ask that you reserve your questions and comments to that time. I did place the handouts though on the table for those in person. So board members will.
Here's the address for the.
Okay. Is it an urgent, clarifying question to something she said?
Relevant, because I don't know that she gets an opportunity to speak later in the meeting, but what are your concerns with this with this dispensary opening up at that location?
I appreciate the question. I've got a ton, I have some, but I also have other neighbors that maybe will use their 2 minutes to speak to some of those very specifically. I'll say there's a bus stop right in front. There's some safety concerns about that location and a major egress for us. So it's like a big issue.
Is this next to the Capitol Restaurant?
Yes, it's a little bit, it's close-ish.
Okay.
But yeah, you can see exactly in this photo. I'm happy to share it with you.
Yes.
All right, our next speaker is Adam Wiesen, speaking on the same topic.
Hello, so I'm Adam Wiesen. I am a 17-year tenant at 4915 Broadway. Just to cap this off, no tenant has any problem with this particular business. We would have the same safety concerns if this were a Papa John's. We had a fire in our building about 10 months ago. It would destroy pretty much most of the wing of our building. And that egress was literally what my son used to get out of the building while it was on fire. Our understanding is that this business has ambitions to deliver. It is at the end of a strip of businesses. There is literally no place else to park e-bikes or delivery services except in front of this particular exit. This is the only fire exit for our tower. It leads to the back alley, and it's already a challenge for anyone to navigate that, given that there's a bus stop right in front of it. We don't want the business to leave the storefront abandoned. We have no problem with small businesses being there. We just want more time to get a handle on how do we work this space that we're gonna be sharing with the new neighbor. We feel like we just didn't have the opportunity to really have that discussion, given how the notice went out. And that's really all we're asking the committee for, is a little more time to talk to our new neighbors, get a handle on how they want to do this, how we can work with them. We do not want another derelict business on our block. We really just want to get a handle on how we can work this space together. So that's it. Oh, did anyone questions? For sure.
No, sorry. We generally only take board member questions and
I'm
only
covered.
and only clarifying questions. So we wouldn't be able to take your question right now because you are not a board.
You could talk to her on the side.
Yeah, for sure.
To the person in the blue bed.
Oh, yeah, it's on.
Okay, so they can that. I'm gonna queue up the next three speakers. So next is Daliel Amador. We're speaking about the Open Collaboration Hub. If I could have Jennifer Cross and Sean Giogan queue up over here on my left. You'll be following Daliel. Are you Daliel?
Never happens. Hello, everybody. So I'm probably not too much of a familiar face here at the committee board. And I honestly had the intention to talk about a collaboration environment or a hub, I should say. But I feel like it's a little bit wrong to do so when we're about to have so many starving families. And what made me a little bit unwell listening today was that there was no talk about legislation or preparedness, especially since our elected leaders have failed us to prepare for this moment. We knew this was gonna happen for some time. And I just do not like talking about parties and these events, handing out candy when we should all be coming together to get prepared for literally a lot of families starving. Every single one of our neighbors in my building, my grandmother's food stamps, like there's a lot of people who are gonna be impacted by this. And so I really want to hear, hopefully at the next few community board meetings, a lot more about legislation. I feel like that's what we elected the people to do, not for photo ops and not for more press releases. So apologize if that, makes you feel like I'm targeting you, but at the end of the day, we do need more legislation to get in front of this, so that this never happens again, and emergency funds. So I used up my 2 minutes on that, so sorry if I needed to.
Okay, thank you so much. Next is Jennifer Cross speaking about manholes. Jennifer, are you still present? I don't see Jennifer, so we will move on to Sean. Okay, Sean is speaking about the Inwood water main.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Sean Gagan. I've been a resident of Inwood for about 4 years, a resident of Washington Heights before that for about 8 years, born and raised New Yorker. A lot of families up in Inwood have been concerned about the state of the water over the past couple of weeks. We've had water main breaks, as many as 4 in as many weeks that have caused water outages and water brownage that have frustrated many families in the neighborhood. I was glad to hear from electeds that there is work that's being done to address this. I think our concern is that there has not been much information to the community about what's going on with the water. So I was encouraged to hear that there will be additional work from specific committees following up on that. So I look forward to hearing more and hearing more about community outreach about the water issues in coming board meetings. With my remaining time, I also wanted to address the impending food stamp issue that we've heard a lot about this evening, because I do think it's something that's on a lot of folks' minds. Something that I have been hearing from community members, specifically in the past week, is just asking what they can do, who they can donate food to, who they can donate money to, because folks know that this is happening, and I think because it is now impending, folks are wondering how they can use their privilege to support. So I would encourage committees, community board members, folks here tonight to please share that information as widely as possible, because there are plenty of community members who are ready and willing to support. They just don't have the information yet to do so.
I love this. Can I have a second or a minute or two to support this amazing constituent that can provide us with some of his energy to bring some light onto these issues, or should I just wait to the end? Diana Pichardo.
Not sure who's speaking.
Diana Pichardo.
Got it.
Staff for Manny Dillon.
Thank you. If you guys could connect offline, unless you had a clarifying question for us, would be what is this
No, I wanted to provide that there is a way that you can support. There is a lot of volunteer opportunity at our local pantries, and they will be continued to be funded through this administration that the governor is providing. And again, we will be providing some guidance as to how the SNAP funded benefits will roll out, hopefully, God willing. That's what we're working on. So if this constituent could, if someone could provide in my email, I would gladly offer a chance for us to have a conversation and do a warm referral to so that you could help us with some food pantries in the district that would love your support.
Great, thank you. Yeah, we'll pass that along because we certainly have it. I see a question from a board member clarifying.
Yeah, can Dana just give her email address and can the board also send out in its e-blasts contact information for the cloth food pantry, JCC, you know, whatever.
Yeah, for those nonprofits. Yeah, nonprofits, great idea. Contact information for the electeds are in the resources tab. Love the idea though on the additional nonprofits that should help. Next. Did you have something to? Next is L'Oreal Crowder Cruz. Speaking on the happiness license, while they're making their way up here, if we could have the last two speakers queue up, Liz Ritter and then Indiana Porta. Take it away.
Hi, my name is L'Oreal Crowder. I am a 13-year resident of Inwood, especially at 4915 Broadway, along with Adam and Melissa. I am here, one, because I'm also in agreement with some of the procedures in which the information or lack thereof was shared with the community. Outside of that one specific property, there was no notice that was put out anywhere else in the neighborhood. And along with that, because it was covered, we were not able to actually see it. I think, our ask is to request to postpone the vote on the resolution to a future date so that the residents have an opportunity to participate in the task force meeting on Monday, November 3rd, so that we can share our concerns. And as Adam mentioned, we are not opposed to the opening of this business, but we would like to have proper due process. The hope is that folks, the task force is open to considering extending, the time so that residents can comment on this particular business. So thank you again for allowing me to speak.
Okay.
Encantadísimo.
Thank you.
Is that a clarifying question? Yes, today. Sorry, L'Oreal, before you go, yes. What's your question?
Is the place already ready to open or it still needs to do construction and all that stuff, which will allow you time to actually set up a meeting with the owner?
That's probably a better question for Noble. When we talk about it as a letter, right?
They already met up with me a month ago.
Okay, so we will certainly engage in the details of the application later on in the meeting when we hit resolution C. And yeah, the task force will answer some of those questions. Next is Liz Ritter, speaking about Uptown Wagon.
Hi, my name is Liz Ritter. Among other things, I work with a bunch of neighbors with an organization called the Uptown Wagon. We do bi-weekly distribution of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, water and care kits in the subways, 145th, 125th, 168th Street, and along 125th Street corridor to unhoused New Yorkers. We also do 4 free stores a year. 2 as sort of a pop-up in a public place in the summer and in the winter, and 2 in the spring and in the fall at the Armory. The Armory gives us the space for the low cost of free for 2 days through the sponsorship of the Manhattan Borough President, who covers whatever the liabilities. Because we don't have insurance, we're not a real organization, we don't have any funding, we pay for all of this stuff out of our own contributions. We collect things from people which we then set up in a store for a dignified shopping experience where everything is free. We just included an excellent free store in
the first weekend in October, the first week of October. And I just wanted to make you aware of that so that you can keep your eyes peeled for our next free store in December, December or January. We don't have the date set yet, and that you hold good thought of gratitude for the Armory for helping make this fantastic event possible. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Yeah, any particular items to be donated or is whatever?
For the pop-ups that we do in the summer and the winter, we just take clothing, shoes, and unopened, unexpired toiletries, and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. For the free store at the Armory, we take pretty much everything except furniture and books. And it all goes.
What is the winter date set?
We don't have the winter date set yet. We do a debrief after the free store, and that's when we try and figure out the date, but it's usually sometime mid-December to mid-January-ish. Other questions? Cool.
Thank you, Liz. And our final public speaker is Indiana Porta, speaking about Know Your Rights.
All right, so the nice thing about this chair is I can be taller than I used to be. Hello all, I just wanted to take a moment since there was a lot of talk about where community organizations, our neighbors, and small businesses in the district can get information about immigrant rights. I look forward to hearing more from all of our elected officials, but in the meantime, I wanted to highlight a resource. I'm here also in my personal capacity as always. The New York State Attorney General's website has several Know Your Rights packets, and I just wanted to read quickly what the categories were. So there's one about immigrant student rights. There's one about, relationship or engagement with law enforcement. There's one about immigration services fraud. So if you are paying for legal assistance from somebody who's not an attorney, often in our communities, they're called notarios. Information about your rights there. There's one for private businesses or entities as well as nonprofits. And that gives some information about setting up private areas, about privacy for the information that your organization may hold. There's also one about immigrant worker rights, and also I would recommend that to small businesses so that they can familiarize themselves with their workers' rights and how they can be, how they can also support their immigrant workers. There's one for providers of healthcare, and there's also one about what families can do to plan in the event that somebody is detained by ICE. So again, that is the New York State Attorney General's website, and I only see it in English. So I also wanted to highlight that the Mayor's Office for Immigrant Affairs has some much more accessible kind of know your rights flyers. And they do have some translation. They're not as detailed as the New York State Attorney General, but at least it gives us all a starting point. And then also the New York Immigration Coalition has multiple language flyers. Thank you.
Thank you, Indiana, and that concludes the public session.
All right. The time is 8:16, right? So our goal is always 9 o'clock. We're gonna start calling for committee resolutions. And just as a reminder for folks who are board members on Zoom, we did put in the chat the dates for the December meeting, if you can chat with your preference. So first up, it's gonna be Wayne on the resolution regarding the Charter Revision Commission ballot proposals, which are, well, they are before New Yorkers they started October 25th. And moving to now, so I don't know if you want to come on up. I know a few other folks also want to speak to that item.
Thank you, Catherine. This resolution relates to 3 of the 6 proposals actually before voters now. And to be clear, the Land Use Committee is not taking a political position. It is not advocating for the community board to take a political position. And I believe The chair checked with the law department. It is perfectly fine for community boards to provide information, analyze by details on these ballot proposals, but we're not telling you to vote for them or against them. But community boards have a vital role in the land use review process. And so what we're saying is 3 of the 6 impact that land use review process. And because of that, we are raising certain concerns with that. If you go down to whereas number 6, it points out which each of these 3 proposals, 2, 3, and 4 would do. And generally the concern is in the current process, there's a role for community boards, the city council, borough presidents, and the improvements to the process that would be implemented if these 3 proposals are enacted is removing or limiting the role of, the city council, community boards in that. And there are stakeholders who are for these, there are stakeholders who are against these. It is interesting to know that even some of the stakeholders who are for the proposals point out that they are not perfect and there are still some open issues, some process concerns that would need to be addressed. Additionally, one of the points that we raised in committee is only last year, City of Yes for Housing Opportunity was passed. And that also changes a lot of what is doable pursuant to zoning. It is not clear, and I'm not certain if there's been any discussion of how the combined impacts of the changes to the charter, which is basically the city's constitution, would dovetail with the changes to zoning under City of Yes. So we are, of course, interested in supporting the development of affordable housing and in streamlining city processes that can be unwieldy and take forever. But we're suggesting that community board 12, does not support anything that would change the public review process that lacks clearly defined terms and requirements, that reduce transparency or accountability, that eliminate checks and balances. That's one of the concerns, that most of the changes pushes control over either to the mayor or to entities controlled by the mayor. That would actually discourage any collaboration between the mayor and the city council. And also something not just related to these proposals, but in general, that the amount of time that was allowed for community boards and community to really digest and evaluate these proposals is very limited. I mean, people are voting on them now. And the most detailed discussion of to my knowledge, occurred last week. And as we speak, there are some detailed discussions now. These are the kind of discussions that really would have been helpful 2 months ago, given the impact they have, that they can have on what we do as community board members. Steve.
I have 3. I have 3 what I believe are friendly amendments. In the 4th whereas, the commission actually adopted 5 ballot proposals. The 6th one that you referred to about the sports complex in Essex County, that's a statewide item that comes from the state legislature, not from the city charter vision commission. So that's a correction. In the 9th whereas, I would add to the closing line there about engaging the public in review of applications. I would add to that this refers to the interplay between the community boards and the borough president. And what I would say here, that is, it hinders their ability to engage the public in the review of applications, to consult with each other, and to have a meaningful impact. The problem is, I think you agree with me, with condensing the time period and having them overlap, is that the community boards and the board president don't really get a true opportunity to discuss these matters between them.
That's exactly the point that was made in committee.
Yeah, so I would expand, I would give you some language to expand upon that point. And then I would add it to the resolve clause
in that fourth bullet point. To me, the issue is not whether or not there's cooperation and collaboration between the mayor and the council. I think that can still happen if it's possible. But what is discouraged here, as we just mentioned, is having cooperation and collaboration between the borough president and the community boards.
I think it's fine to certainly add to the fourth bullet point, the community boards and the borough presidents. But I also think that the way this is structured, if you are pulling the city council out of decision-making positions, it does discourage collaboration between the mayor and the city council, because if the mayor doesn't have to deal with them, as was, perfect example is City of Yes passed because of the interplay between the mayor's office and the city council. Absent that, what he was putting forward wasn't getting traction, and what the council was putting forward was at their various, positions on that, pulling it together is what made it work. So I agree, let's add the community boards and borough presidents to fourth bullet, but I would keep, anything that would discourage collaboration and cooperation between the mayor and the city council. That's what they should be doing.
Right, and can I give you the other language then?
Yes, you can email it to us. Other questions, comments, online or in person?
Don't see any online and none in person, so I think you're good.
Okay, so, thank you, and as I pointed out, this is raising concerns. It is not telling anyone how to vote.
All right. Thanks, Wayne. Next up is Leo and then Noble's online, so.
Good evening again. Our committee is bringing forth a resolution in support of meter parking commercial loading regulations along West 207th Street and 9th Avenue. As you guys are aware, it's a very traffic headache in that area. Add surplus of tenants moving in because of the 3 new developments. It's about 600 units. There's businesses moving in to the first floors, including Ponce Bank, Dagman Beer, the People's Theater, amongst others. It's gonna be a nightmare. At the moment, currently, there's a bus lane on the northwest side of it. That bike lane is being used illegal for illegal parking. Many cars come and just leave the cars there parked idly. It's causing a lot of issues, so we decided to kind of get ahead of the problem. Right now, there are about 15-20% capacity of tenants moving in. We want to get ahead of it before it becomes a real issue in our community. So we are proposing that DOT install meters along 9th Avenue, up to the extent of where the new development is. And then as well as our signage for commercial loading. If you're going on 9th Avenue, coming off the bridge, so you make that left, it's a nightmare. When these trucks are loading, you have trucks double parked, these huge trucks double parked, so you have basically one lane for cars coming in both directions. There's a school nearby, it's a headache, so we want to get ahead of it. Yeah.
I got a friendly amendment.
Actually, I have 2. I would suggest, adding, taking the resolved and, changing the period to a semicolon and be it further. And then adding another resolve that, CB12M encourages DOT to implement 2-hour metered parking with pricing commensurate with metered pricing within Community District 12. Since that was something that was discussed within the committee, just noting that it would be that you're calling for a 2-hour zone, not a 1-hour zone, and that it'd be priced like, not like the Upper West Side. I mean, you could put that information anywhere exactly you put it. I don't really care, but it should be in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a different amendment. What?
I saw Luana and then Wayne.
Is there a reason why we're asking for a 2-hour limit rather than a 1-hour limit?
Just kind of following up with that corridor. And most of the meter parking is 2 hours, so we don't want to throw people off.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
You're currently you're not allowed to park on the bus lanes, right?
Yeah, you're not allowed to park. It's a lot of
So
people
what
park.
would the metered parking do? What's the point of that on 207?
So it would encourage traffic enforcement agents to give tickets. Right now, you go, we can, well, late, but if you go early enough, 12, 1 o'clock, what ends up happening is you have a bunch of cars parked on the bus lane. We wanna make sure that they have parking for these businesses, so if we charge for the meter, now we don't have warehouses, we have a deal terms. And the bus, that's another thing you wish bring up, the bus doesn't use the bus lane until it gets well onto 207, closer to 10th Avenue, by the train station.
So where would the metered parking?
So meter parking would go from 9th Avenue to some 9th Avenue, so about the building line, the end of the building line.
Of that new building?
Yeah. So bus lanes, you're supposed to have about 100 feet of bus pad. As long as you have the bus pad of 100 feet, you're able to put parking on that.
Okay, and because I ride bike through there all the time, I mean, at least during the morning and the evenings, like after 5 and before 9, I never see it being blocked. I'm just wondering because I've seen the bus having to take their bus lane because of the traffic of the other cars coming through. So wouldn't, if you do that parking meter on that side, at least coming from the Bronx to Manhattan, wouldn't that sort of cause more congestion?
So according to MTA, we have an MTA representative that comes to our committee meeting. When I reached out to him, he even admitted the bus lane doesn't always use it. They rarely do. We want to ensure that we have complete access to the roadway. So if they have about 100 feet of 100 feet of bus pad, it should be all right. It should be all right.
Okay. And so Wayne and Domingo.
Thanks. Just a quick question. In the resolution, you're discussing having a rate that is considered that's considering the neighborhood AMI. And I understand that, parking time limits vary depending on where they are in the city, but I thought the rates were consistent, that you didn't have rates that varied based upon neighborhood income. Is that something that actually exists that can be done?
So according to the DOT website, they do.
They do that.
Yeah.
And did they provide examples of where in, higher or lower income neighborhoods, they've adjusted the rates that are charged?
Yeah, so if you go to the Upper West Side, if you go to downtown, 2-hour parking is about $10, $12. Area is about $5, I think. $5 for the club.
There's places that are 20, yeah, pay 25.
It's on their website.
Yeah, it's on their website.
Well, it's like $4.
Yeah.
Is that a question or comment? Okay, I see Steve.
Did this idea originate with DOT?
No, so actually, I kind of reached out. I had moved into this area. We was having very difficult time finding parking. I went and did a bit of a field visit. I met up with a couple of the new business owners in that area, Pontus Bank, Diamond Beer, People's Theater, and Aurora. I spoke to the warehouses and the supermarket, and everybody shared the same concern. DOT actually encourages it, but it's not from them. They need to support from the community board. So we're kind of backing our people in this.
Because I would change the phrasing then, because the way this is worded, it sounds like we're supporting a request that came to us from DOT. So I would say that we call upon DOT to implement metered parking, something like that.
Okay. That's a different.
2-hour metered parking with
yeah.
pricing commensurate. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
I wouldn't use the word supports.
I'll change this, Steve. Thank you.
Okay. And while I have you, did Montefiore open up a clinic there?
They are anticipating, they have, I don't think it's fully open yet. but I know they moved in their equipment.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, then I have to invite them to my committee.
Yes.
Any other questions in the room or we have one in the room?
I just wanted to ask about the 100-foot space. I'm totally fine with this. I think my concern is just sometimes when there are cars parked in the bus lane, then they can't get close enough to roll up the ramp for me to get onto the bus. So if you just in your communication with them could highlight that, like, that's still really important, and I will support this. There's something to keep top of mind, and so please relay to them that it's gonna be really, really important that they enforce that 100 feet really does stay open.
All right, we'll make sure to mention it, we'll make sure to speak with Alberta, who's our NTA representative, so that public district, so it should be good.
Okay, I think that concludes questions.
And traffic, because I think that's a really great initiative. Like, it's a great example of issues that come across our desk that we can really be proactive on. All right, so I'm gonna pass it over to Noble.
Hey folks, you can hear me okay, I take it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry I couldn't be there in person today. I'm in Houston on business at Afrotech conference down here, but this is really important, so I wanted to make sure to talk about the resolution and the conversation we had in the Cannabis Task Force on October 6th. First, I just really want to thank Hector Bonilla for making fantastically detailed minutes of the meeting. Put them together very quickly. They did give a great written retelling of our conversation there. And for anyone that is, interested in what the conversation was, it was a good, say about an hour, 15 hour and a half meeting that we had. One applicant and other, educational conversations we had among some of the public that came to the meeting. Definitely check out the YouTube as well. A lot of great conversation goes on there. So regarding this resolution, let me start with a couple just basics. This is a very new task force. It's a new process to New York State. So just to make sure everyone's on the same knowledge level here about what our task force role is, I just want to make sure we have that clear first, because we are very different from the licensing committee. First and foremost, OCM, the Office of Cannabis Management, reviews any application for a retail dispensary or license first and approves against the laws of the state. So that also means, what are the state laws against how far can you be from a place of worship, a school, a historic site. They already go through that when you apply for a dispensary, and they approve you or they reject you according to that. So there's a whole entire OCM process. Now, our role here, and this is where we differ from SLA and the licensing committee, our role as the Cannabis Task Force is to review the business, down to the floor plans, bring in the owners and talk to them, really have a dialogue on it. So that way we can review it as a public representatives, honestly, that are volunteer. That's how we got on the community board in the first place. So we can review that with the public if they're there, but we are also trusted by the public and the Manhattan Borough President and our council members to be able to have the public's thoughts in mind. And when we review it, it's not binding. That's what's different between us and SLA. It's not binding against the licensor. The licensee can still open their establishment, even if the community board votes against it or decides not to take it out of committee. But here's the deal. It's important for them to come to us. One, because it does give the public an opportunity or their representatives an opportunity to talk about it with the owners. And also, two, we have this thing at CB12 called our Good Neighbor Certificate, and that comes from the Cannabis Task Force, where some of the unenforceable conversation points and agreements we get across in these meetings are followed. And that's how you get a Good Neighbor Certificate from CB12, because if they're not a good neighbor, at least there's some signage for people can come to talk about this, and then maybe there'll be other processes that we can do in the future. So I just wanted to bring us all on a base of what our role is here on the Cannabis Task Force. So saying that, another objective fact here, we have currently three dispensaries above 145th Street, Happy Monkey, Sparkboro, and one that we approved, I believe it was in February, that has not opened up yet. Haven't heard from them in a while. So this in front of you, this resolution would be for the 4th. Our process, as you know, we have a very good survey that the community board voted on. We talk a little bit about community questions in there, as well as business function questions in our survey. Certainly ask the office if you're interested in that. We can also give you the surveys of folks that have filled it out. And there are also other things like posting that we're going to be having a meeting for 2 weeks on your door. There's other things that go along with that survey. Oh, giving us the floor plan. Happiness Dispensary, the resolution in front of you was complete in their application. Everything that they needed to do was passed by OCM. Everything they needed to do was approved by the office. And so that meant, posting, which I do have pictures of, by the way. The public folks that were speaking before are correct. Like, it is covered by a gate that's to protect the glass front, of course. I mean, it's an open to street business here, but it does have holes in it, and you can see the posting there. And it was posted for a while. Now, just like SLA, our counterparts in a way, not everyone can see the post sometimes. Either it could be timing issue, that maybe they're not around, whatever, they hear about it. Sometimes it's just late hearing about it. And it is unfortunate the folks were late hearing about it. But what I can guarantee you is that the things that they had brought up, especially in terms of the egress, were things that we talked about in depth. If you watch the YouTube, if you read our minutes, and we also mention it in our resolution. So let me talk about the egress for a second. Since we are representatives, of the public, if the public can't be there, we don't go into these things with a void. Like, we go in very educated once we get the packet from the office. So thank you, Noemi. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you, Paola, for sending us really awesome packets. We did our homework on this one because we don't get dispensaries, to our committee that often because of many other reasons that we've talked about. We looked at the location. As I said at the executive committee meeting when I was bringing this through, this resolution through the executive committee, it's a very interesting building for our neighborhood. It's a single building, and if you can look it up, you can look it up on Google Maps. The address is 4925 Broadway. It's a single standing building, meaning that they don't have any buildings above it. Unlike, well, kind of like Happy Monkey, and kind of like Sparkboro, actually. So we're actually pretty lucky in this neighborhood that the 3 open dispensaries, or the 2 open dispensaries and the 1 potential dispensary, are in their own standalone building. But they do have neighbors flanking to the side, and they do have a bus stop that's adjacent to their building, not right in front, but adjacent. As I said, this came up for at least 20 minutes in the conversation. You can look back at YouTube, see the questions we asked, see the consensuses and the agreements that we extracted from the owners. But basically, this is our number one concern. There's a bus stop there. I'm thinking number one, ADA compliancy. That's number one in my head. Especially because they think that they want to open a delivery service down the road. We've only had 2 delivery services come in front of our committee, and so that's how we knew to look out and to talk about the things that came up the last time delivery services came up.
No,
First,
I gotta pause real quick just because you're a little over your time and.
Oh, I thought I got 10 minutes. No?
Nah, you got 5.
Did that change this year? All right, I'll speed it up.
No, let's just pause real quick. I just want to see if there are hands from board members and this folks raised, the owner is present, so I don't know if there's anything else that you needed to clarify that maybe that he can clarify.
I will do Liz, Isidro, and then Steve.
The process actually sounds exactly like the licensing committee, but I think Isidro will speak to that. I totally support cannabis dispensaries. I think this seems like a really great application, and I hope you are successful opening up a business in our community, because I think bring it on. That said, I'm just not understanding what the burning hurry is, given that, and I appreciate that you had a robust discussion of some of these points at your meeting. That meeting didn't actually include community residents with direct firsthand personal experience of the specifics of the situation. So if this dispensary is a good idea, and I think on balance it is, it's still going to be a good idea next month. And I would strongly encourage you to take this back to committee, to the task force, allow community representatives to discuss and ask their questions and get really into the weeds, see what I did there, on this issue at not a general meeting, but in committee where these request where these conversations should take place, and then we can vote on it and hopefully pass it next month.
What's my timing on response? 30 seconds?
Let's take Isidro and then.
Okay.
Steve, and then you can respond if needed.
Thank you, Nobles. So it seems like this is a very credible applicant. It seems that the process was followed, and it seems that there was a great input. I don't know if you are aware, there was some residents that do have some issues because they didn't have a clear sight on the process that is required by the community board. So my question is, did you have like a good input from the residents to make sure that the voices were heard? That's a question to you.
No, well, that was a fair question, first one.
I can answer Isidro and not Liz. I just want to be in order.
Because it's like a yes or no question versus like a.
Oh, yes. So if I can answer this one then. Yes, so we did ask, and this can be, you can see this on the YouTube too. We did ask them if they had done any initial outreach to the community. They said that they had. Now, the scale of it, they had admitted they could do better, but they definitely said they had. We had definitely believed them because they had talked to us about the kind of conversations they've had. I'm sorry I wasn't with the 3 people that spoke there, but they did do community outreach. They didn't reach out to the supers. We don't have any rule book of how you do community outreach for this, by the way. They did post, as you said, according to the process, it was visible through the gate, which they have to protect their business with. And since, the place for conversation is a committee task force meeting, and we did have a very robust conversation on it, not necessarily a general board meeting, we can continue to have a conversation on it. But I will say attendance to our task force meetings have been pretty low, and we have been every single Monday for the last 3 years. First Monday.
Yeah, Nobles, I agree with Liz. I think our job is to help promote dialogue and give people in the community an opportunity to weigh in and to discuss matters. This is a significant business, and I would hope that by promoting dialogue with the tenants, it would only accrue to the benefit of that business. Now, I'm looking at the photograph of how the flyer was posted on the window, and really, Nobles, we cannot defend this. It's not readable. You cannot really see it. And really, I don't just blame the business. I blame us. I think the community board itself has had to do a much better job advertising and putting up flyers. You could have put up a flyer on the bus stop. The bus stop is right there. People
That's
walk
illegal.
all the time. They
illegal.
could have seen it. We could have put up flyers on the lamp posters. So
Also
yes,
illegal.
that's right.
Yes. Let's keep it going.
Yes.
Let's keep finish the point.
So really, I'll take this up as well, I guess, at the executive committee, but we need to do a much better job ourselves of letting the community know about the business before the board if we expect them to come to meetings. But I urge the board members to table this, give the people in the community, the people who live right there, an opportunity to talk to the business owner. And I think hopefully what will result is much better level of understanding between the business and the residents.
Okay, so we're at 8:45. We still have additional business before us. I had recognized Wayne as the last hand, and now I see 4 more hands. We follow parliamentary procedure, correct? And Robert's Rules of Order, so there is a process. We have an agenda item before us. There are folks who are commenting for it to be tabled. You know that what Jim is about to say is that language doesn't exist. Mr. Robertson, what we say about tabling?
Tabling is the wrong word, but since you gave me the floor.
For parliamentary procedure.
Tabling is not the right word, but I now move, since I have the floor, that this resolution be referred back to committee to be discussed at their next meeting.
Okay, so we got a first and we got a second. That means we're gonna do a roll call. So for the vote. So Alexis and Daryl, let's be ready.
Everything?
Okay, Daryl's gonna do it. Can we pass Daryl a mic?
So to be clear, we are only voting on referring this resolution C back to the task force.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, there was a motion and a second. So what is the,
Table is not discussable.
so are we voting?
Yeah, we could vote.
Sorry. So we are voting and let's say if it does not passes, then we go back into discussion mode. If it goes back, if the majority votes to say to send it back to committee, then period.
Be yes, no, or abstain.
Clarifying question.
Okay.
Not about the procedure. I guess for Nobles, if we do something back to the committee, does it affect the applicant?
It does.
No.
Yes.
He has to
Yes,
wait.
it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I'll tell you how. As we know, getting a lease for a marijuana dispensary is very difficult in our neighborhood for many stigma reasons. They are paying the rent on this place to get that lease. And without our approval, there's going to still be an open front. And so, yeah, like it does affect them. It doesn't affect me as a volunteer here, but it does affect a small business moving into our community. It does.
The meeting's next week.
Can I proceed to the roll?
Okay.
Order.
Point of order, Jim.
Correct. Your choices are yes, no, or not voting because you have a conflict of interest.
No,
You
you
may
can
not
change it.
abstain.
Why can't you abstain?
Because we don't abstain, it's not allowed.
Of course it's allowed.
It is
No,
not.
it's not.
Abstaining is always allowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
We've abstained in the past.
Okay.
You-
And forgive me, the list is super small this month. I'm not sure why, but Joelle?
No. No. So that's, I'm voting no to not be tabled, for it to be voted here.
Correct. Correct. Jermina?
Absent.
Richard Allman? Mary Anderson?
Yes.
Jay Baez?
No.
Jay Cabanas?
Yes.
Rudia Barnes? Wayne Benjamin?
Yes.
Jim Berlin?
Yes, and by the way, I correct myself, we do abstain, but it counts as a no.
We're voting.
Right.
John Benitez? Can you repeat that?
Not present.
What, not there?
Mhm.
Oh, I heard something, yeah. Daniel Bonilla?
Danny's.
Hector Bonilla?
What was that?
Danny, that was Danny. Hector's not present.
Yeah, I said yes, sorry.
Oh, Danny's a yes.
Danny's a yes, okay. And Hector is not here, correct?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, Paul. I'm sorry.
No,
No,
we're
we're not voting yet.
voting on the motion. The vote right now is on tabling agenda item C, is it? Sorry, C from the cannabis task force. So that is, right now, we're only voting on tabling.
Do we send it back to committee?
Yes.
Send it back to committee.
So it's yes, no, abstain.
So where was,
I'll,
I'm sorry, Hector?
I'll abstain.
Okay.
Saying why?
Eleazar?
I'll be, oh. No.
No.
Eliezer is a no.
I vote yes. Darley, Cornel?
Yes.
Nobles Crawford?
No.
Robin Cruz?
Yes.
Stephen De Jesus? Sorry, Stefan.
Yes.
Okay. Catherine Diaz?
I'm in conflict with that work hours, yeah.
Okay. Noemi Diaz? I'm sorry, no?
No.
Okay, thank you. What was that? Domingo? Erwin Fernandez?
Oh.
Thank you. Luana?
Yes.
Sonia Figueroa Pagan,
Yes.
John Francis,
Yes.
Jonathan Fromeda,
Abstain.
abstain, okay. Sorry, Ty?
No.
Tanisha,
Tanisha?
I'm coming, trying to get to my mute button. No.
Tanisha, no, okay. Heidi Guzman,
No.
Jody Person. Andrea Indrago?
Not present.
Oh. Leo?
No.
Osi?
Yes.
Alexis?
No.
Tracy McNeil? Oh, shoot. Cedro?
Excuse me, may I change my vote, please?
Who's that?
Speaking?
Robin.
Oh, Robin Cruz?
Instead of yes, no.
Okay, thank you. Ann Vegas?
Yes.
Diogenes?
No.
Indiana?
Yes.
Liz Ritter?
Yes.
Bruce?
Yes.
Steve Simon?
Yes.
Melissa Sims?
Yes.
Eitan?
No.
Lisette Taveras?
Yes.
Carl Unipu?
Yes.
Anthony Viola?
No.
Crystal Woodley? Crystal? If you're trying to vote, we can't hear you.
No. No.
You vote no? Okay, thank you. Anyone else that I missed or wish to change their vote? Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, did anybody else have any other questions that are not impacted by this or comments?
Great job, Nobles. It's often difficult, especially when you're dealing with something that has such a history and hearing community members come. But I think this is a great opportunity to revisit the conversation on what is engagement, because people here pick and choose what engagement looks like. How do we react when community members come? It's not necessarily as uniform as some people claim it to be. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to commend you for the great work. Yes, there's certain things in the process that have to keep getting better, but we have to also understand that we're dealing with remnants of the war on drugs and the stigma that came with that, and how some people don't have the ability to keep paying a month of rent. And I encourage the people who live in that community to get to meet the dude. They didn't, and come to know.
He's there now.
Because that's what these spaces are created for.
Thank you.
Thank you, Domingo.
Cause I kinda wanna move to liquor, but you wanna see?
And by the way, Nobles, I don't think you're including the fact that we have another dispensary at Broadway and 161st
Is
Street.
this conversation in order?
No, I was about to raise. Okay, so J Vines has a hand up, Nobles, the owner has his hand up, so you would have to allow for it. Okay, let's do Jay's hand. Yeah. 1920. Yeah, 1920, okay. I'm gonna let Jay speak because Jay hasn't spoken all meeting, and then essentially the motion did pass. It's 23 to 20 to 1.
23 to 18 to 2 to 1.
Correct.
But as abstentions count as no.
They still count as abstentions.
Yes, I recognize they count as abstentions. I'm just explaining to folks that it still passes. So
Two with one not.
I'm speaking, hold on. I'm gonna let Jay say something if you still got something to say, because he hasn't spoken. And then what I'm gonna, the Nobles, the owner, and Ebenezer is present in terms of understanding procedurally what this means in terms of tabling the item.
I would like to let the owner know that they need to reapply to us, present the paperwork again tomorrow, because we need to receive a new application in order to put it on the agenda.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do, because this is the procedure that we have in-house.
He knows the procedure.
This is the procedure.
That's what we set the order.
So let me,
The committee do their job.
so that's really a side conversation, so if Christian, if you don't mind talking to Ebenezer on the side in the hall, Ebenezer said what it said. Can you repeat that?
Yes, send me the application again tomorrow, because the meeting gonna happen next week, and we need to have time to process and present you the new line, we posted in the conspicuous place. Now you know the issue, and you should.
Are you the owner?
I'm not, I don't get why he's speaking to me, I'm confused.
Can they just give the same
So,
application?
all right, we're gonna move on. The motion passed. Jay had I know, but what I said was that Nobles has to recognize you based on the rules. So that's why I was asking for you to come
Oh,
down.
I recognize the owner for sure.
No, I
can
know,
they
but
just-
you gotta come down so you can have the mic, is what I'm saying. And then so you could talk to Ebenezer on the side as to what that means.
Speak in public if this is a public thing.
Because the public session, that's the way that it works, this meeting is that in the public session and that Noble speaks. Because this type of meeting is only board members. In the regular cannabis meeting, anybody in the middle.
Public session, and then there's like.
I did those sections.
Yeah, yeah,
already.
Right.
So this
Why
is
should
the,
I go back if I already did those sections? Those sections were already done.
so
why
some
should I
people
return
felt that.
Hold on, so just, you wanna speak, you got the mic, Noble's allowed for you to have the mic, and then I gotta go to liquor now.
Like, you gonna tell me?
No, did you wanna say, you wanted to say what he was saying?
No, I'm just saying that if I follow all the steps, if I follow all the rules that's given by the community board to the teeth, day by day, email by email, why should I wait another month? If it's already done, all my documents already in, why should I keep wasting my money? Who's paying my rent? Every store in New York has delivery. Why is my store a problem? Why is my barcode unreadable when half of the day the gate is open? The gate is open all half through the day. In the nighttime, I close the gate, but the day is open all through the day where they can see the barcode. It has a barcode where you can put your phone and it pops up to your screen. You don't even need to read it, and it's readable because I put it in every section where you can read it. About not being readable, I'm not sure what they did, but I have photos and I send photos and emails. Everything is there. There's no need to waste my time again. I did every step by the teeth and I didn't miss a beat. Why should I waste my time?
Thank you for that comment. So we did have a motion, we seconded and we voted to return this back to the task force. Now, that said, Abby is conflicted. She can't continue the conversation at this point. I can. The board, under parliamentary procedure, may attempt a motion and second, if that is the procedure we want to take, someone wants to make a motion, second, and then we roll call again, we can do that. They could do that at any point. We're just raising that as part of parliamentary procedure. If that does not occur, if a person does not move to continue the conversation or raise this back.
It's not out of, Steve, you're out of order. Let him finish moderating. He's raising options based on people's reactions.
Yes.
But we need to move forward to the agenda.
If that motion does not, let me just finish my thought here. If that motion does not occur or it is not seconded, we will proceed to the remainder of the agenda, which are the resolutions that were before our licensing committee.
Motion.
Okay, what do you have to say?
I'm
when you vote it?
motioning, to propose not to table that agenda item to vote now.
He has no right to make that motion.
People could change their votes.
Okay, pause. So there was a motion.
No.
I want to, no, I want to hear the parliamentary's point of order. I understand where you're going. We have a parliamentarian, you are not in that role, parliamentarian. Okay. Are we able to have a member move to re-raise the topic and bring it back from?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're not going to, I'm not gonna take anyone's word for it. We do have a parliamentarian, he is attempting to look that up for Robert's Rules of Order. I think in the meantime, let's proceed down the agenda. We have a number of resolutions that were before our licensing committee, so Isidro, you don't mind taking the stand?
How many votes was the differential?
It was a difference of 3 votes, I believe.
If people wanna change their votes, you know.
It's too late.
It's not too late.
It's too late.
No, it's not.
We are not speaking about this matter, folks are out of order. Out of order. Until the parliamentarian.
Is there a way that Catherine, you can take over?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't
Thank you.
understand. One, and I'm gonna call you out because you're the one that is out, your temperature's high, you gotta lower it. So if you need to take a lap, but lower it, because everybody's trying to move through the agenda, Steve. So I understand.
I'm trying to move.
Thank you. Steve, you're out of order. Period.
Okay, we're,
Right now, what actually I wanna do, I wanna move on to liquor. We're gonna finish liquor. The parliamentarian has the information. Can we move to liquor? So folks calm down and then we. And then we
motion to
come
move to
back to
liquor.
that item.
Okay, it turns out we can move to vote again. So.
Motion, I second it.
Hold on. Hold up, y'all messed me up. All right, parliamentarian Googles, get back on.
We can move to vote again. And one of the reasons we can move to vote again is basically, we may, this is sort of, well, I'll say it anyway. According to the owner, oh, sorry about that. According to the owner, we were given some misinformation, and in fact, that gate is open most of the day. So we were, we're not gonna discuss that. We are now confused as to whether the gate was open or not, and that's reason enough for someone to move that we vote again.
I motioned.
Second.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear. I'm gonna motion. Due to new information that's been brought about by the owner, right? Information that we didn't have prior to our vote, I am motioning to
Consider.
to not table that and vote that here now. Who wants to second it?
So you're moving to vote again and it was seconded, right?
Before we.
I'm sorry.
To table it or not to table?
To reconsider.
Voting to table it, but we're voting,
Once vote.
To reconsider if we're gonna table it or.
basically, we're running the vote, excuse me, let's not all talk at the same time. The answer to your question is we are reconsidering the vote we just took, so we're just gonna vote again on what we just voted on. Is that clear?
Clear.
Yeah, sorry, what Joe just mentioned is that we are going to vote in the actual result rather than what we just voted.
No, we are.
I want to understand what we are doing.
Oh,
because
okay, let me explain it again. We took a vote to send the motion back to committee.
Yes.
Someone now moved that we take this same vote again based upon new information. So we are, it's already been seconded, thank you. So we're gonna be doing exactly the same vote we did about whether we should send it back to committee. Okay, any other question?
Question. Yes. Right
Hold
here.
on,
Yes.
just real quick. Cut the crosstalk and let's respect, and I love that we're respecting the mics again with Jim on hand because Zoom is having a hard time with the crosstalk. So Daryl, yeah.
I hear what the owner said earlier. He expressed frustration, but I didn't hear any new information. That's what I'm curious on. Yeah, and he said there were pictures. Do we have the pictures? Like if we could see the pictures, that would be helpful.
I have sent them.
You said there were pictures, but nobles have had pictures. You could share your screen. If you have them, you can share it on your phone. We could see it, but there's no new information except just the words. I don't.
Well, no, words,
We also.
words in fact are information, and according to,
Turn out fast.
no, we're not talking about feeling. We're talking about two different statements about whether the gate was open during the day.
There's a motion.
All right, basically, Mr. Simon, but you will probably be out of order.
Asking questions.
Someone needs to control the conversation.
Thank you. I apologize for that, folks. Let me just double check because I have folks on Zoom going on. Okay, never mind.
I have a point to make.
I know you have a point, so just the clarification, did you get a response to the clarification?
I'm waiting for either Nobles or the owner to provide a photo.
I have a picture. I do have a picture. If I can share my screen of the public notice without the gate, and the gate is open. I have a
Yes.
picture of that.
You're able to do that. All right, now Steve, what's the information?
Yeah, I also have some familiarity with Robert's Rules of Order, and my understanding of a motion to reconsider is that it can only be brought by somebody who was on the winning side of the original motion. So as far as I know, only one of the 23 people who previously voted yes can now bring the motion to reconsider. Not the people who voted in the minority, only those who carried the motion, the original motion.
Thank you, Steve. Did the person who make the motion vote in the affirmative?
He voted no.
Wait.
The crosstalk.
I just asked a question.
No.
Okay, is there someone who voted in the affirmative who wants to make the motion?
Yes.
Okay,
Carl.
And Carl
so
second.
someone who voted in the affirmative made the motion and it was seconded. So Steve is now content with our procedure. Is that correct?
Did the person seconding it also vote yes?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so
Carl motioned it, it's under section.
I've put the picture of the gate up with the.
Yeah, I'm
I put
trying
it
to
into the
open
chat.
it. I'm opening it now.
Cool.
any other questions? There shouldn't be none. We've satisfied Steve's requirement and I thank him for that clarification. And there's a picture. Right? Thank you for your cooperation.
Got you.
Steve, right?
Before you do that, would you clarify what a yes vote is and what a no vote is?
That's for the parliamentarians to raise.
It's the same motion we just voted on. If you vote yes, you're asking that it be sent back to committee. If you vote no, you're asking that it not be sent back to committee. And if you abstain, it counts as a no vote.
Confused now.
Yeah, it's the same, we're taking the exact same exact.
Okay, got it.
Our,
Jim.
It states.
our folks on Zoom, just as we've been focusing on in person, and apologies to my Zoom friends. Are folks on Zoom clear on what we are voting, or do we need to hear it again?
Hector has a question, sorry.
Yes.
Hector has a question.
I saw.
Sorry.
Hector, do you need clarification?
Yes, just some clarification regarding the yes and no. If we decide to say no, that means we're voting on it tonight, correct?
Yes.
Okay, understood. Thank you, everyone.
For the sake of time, am I allowed to just ask who wants to change their vote?
No.
No.
Okay.
I love that.
Well, I got you on the Zoom, so that's.
Okay, all right. Here we go again. Joel Abreu,
No.
Jermina,
Absent.
sorry, absent. Richard Altman,
Same.
Mary Anderson,
Stay.
Jay Baez. Jacob Banas.
No.
Rudy Barnes. Wayne Benjamin,
Yes.
Jim Berlin,
No.
John Benitez.
Not present.
Oh. Daniel Bonilla,
Yes.
Hector Bonilla,
No.
Elias Bueno,
No.
B, Daryl, I vote yes. Darley, Cornell? Nobles Crawford?
No.
Can someone mute if you're not speaking? Thank you. Robin Cruz?
No.
Stefan De Jesus? Yeah, I got it right. Catherine Diaz?
In conflict again.
Mhm. Noemi?
No.
Domingo?
No.
Irwin?
No.
Luana? Sonia? John Francis?
Yes.
Yes.
Jonathan Fermetta?
Daddy.
Same. Ty?
Same what?
Sorry, that was
No.
Jonathan.
Tanisha?
No, right? Not to send it back to the committee?
That's right.
So definite no. Thank you.
Okay, Heidi Guzman?
No.
Jody Herson?
Yes.
Andrea Intriago?
Not present.
Leo? Osi?
Yes.
Alexis?
No.
Tracy?
She's.
Oh, she's right, gone. Isidro? Anne?
Yes.
Diogenes?
No.
Indiana? Liz?
Yes.
Bruce?
No.
Steve Simon?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Eitan?
No.
Lizette?
No.
Carl?
No.
Anthony? Crystal?
No.
Did I miss anybody? Thank you.
Alright, we're gonna move to liquor while that is going. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Chair. So we're moving from joint to groups now, so let's get it going. In essence, we had a light agenda. I do ask that you pay attention to agenda number 4. There's a typo there on the last whereas I left out a digit. So on the last whereas supposed to be 2021. It reads that 202, so it's 2021, it's a typo there. And also on resolution number 8, there's another typo. It says 7 days, it's supposed to be like 7 days per week. So just add 7 days per week, if you're so kind. Other than that, the committee objected in approving resolution number 2 and 7 because they did not submit a complete questionnaire and all documents as required by the board. Lastly, in reference to something that was brought up regarding agenda item number check. The Eagle Farms, I was surprised in the vote, as you all know, because I think that is a great establishment. Never had or heard any complaints. However, the way that we vote licensing, we do not require the board members to give an explanation. And this came to a good vote. As the members voted, it was surprised that I believe 2 members voted against it. But I personally think that it's a great establishment and I would like for the board to approve this application. On that note, I'm going to open up the floor to see if I have some questions. I'm going to start first, Zacchaeus and Steve.
So you said, I'm sorry, you said regarding red zone number 4, what was the issue?
There's a typo there, the last whereas on the year, it's supposed to be 2021 and it reads 02.
And what was the issue for red zone number 2? Oh, no, why was it objection?
Incomplete.
Was incomplete?
It's incomplete, yeah. Now move, if I answer your question, then Steve.
I have a question.
So who has a question? Who are you calling on, Isidro?
Steve.
So with respect to the Inglewood Farm vote, we have no insight into why the two people voted no?
Exactly, we just don't ask why you voted the same way, so.
On number
Let
8,
let me just say that, you know, everything was submitted on time based on this applicant.
yeah,
They had other requirements, so it was just a complete surprise.
okay, I also found it curious because the vote on almost everything else is unanimous and not in this particular case. On number 8, it indicates, I'm trying to visualize where this restaurant is located. The address given says Fort Washington Avenue and 157th Street, but those two things don't meet. So it's, and number 2, Fort Washington, I mean, is it like a little tiny storefront off to the, around the bend there where Fort Washington meets Broadway?
Based on the Google map that I checked, there's like a small curve.
Yes.
That's exactly the place. It's going to be.
Used to be Steve.
So it's what?
159. Oh, sorry. It's on the corner.
So, okay, so it's just west of Broadway, around the curve there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's, I said, you may want to change the,
That's 159.
no, well, no, 159 is on the other side of Broadway.
It's not
But,
yeah. That's the street.
no, I would say it's a little bit west of Broadway.
It's 159, we're going to make the correction.
Well, 159th Street doesn't exist on that side of Broadway. But it's.
I will check on that, Steve.
Yeah.
I don't see any other hands in the room, but Eleazar has his hand up. Let's take Eleazar first and then we can go to them. Eleazar, did you have a question for Isidro?
That's okay. That was prior when we had the discussion, so you can put it down.
First here.
Okay.
Okay, you can go first.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your mom raised you well.
Thank you.
Just a point of clarification. As a body, we vote for the liquor licenses. But who monitors it in its usage? Nobody.
Big recommendations.
I'm sorry?
Oh, this is just a recommendation. It's not a, you don't get the license because we vote for it. We recommend
Who are we recommending
to
to?
the state liquor authority.
State liquor authority. Okay, so as we recommend and the state liquor license is issued, then who monitors it? Is it the state?
Yes.
Wait, but
So the committee makes a recommendation to this general body, right?
Okay.
Vote against or in favor of resolution. Whatever the decision is, we'll go to SLA. Once SLA approve or disapprove, then will be up to the different bodies of government, including the city and the state. We can have, let's say, PD enforcement with some issues as well as like the SLA in reference to the liquor. If the alcohol health issues, will be the New York City Health Department. So there are different agencies that have an input on the liquor licenses indeed. The final decision will be the SLA.
I asked because last year we voted for a restaurant that's on 181st Street between St. Nicholas and Audubon Avenue. And I almost remember that it was to a certain time frame. And they go beyond that time frame. They go to 6 and 7 in the morning.
That restaurant is closed.
It-
That restaurant has been
it-
closed for at least 2 months.
It's just an example.
Okay. Got it.
So that's why I live above the restaurant and I heard the music and I heard the commotion and it was 6 o'clock in the morning.
Please feel free and reach out to the committee, send me a note. I work practically 2 doors away from that place. Feel free to reach out to me and you and I can have discussions, see how we can rectify this problem.
Isidro, just to add, because I know, so Sonia's a new and newish and other new members. Those operating hours, a lot of the stipulations that Isidro and the committee raise, especially hours get added to the liquor license for that establishment. So if, let's say, they can only operate till midnight, they're only supposed to operate till midnight. So if the board is one avenue, but also the NYPD and the SLA have complaint processes. So those are things that they also do take into account, especially the NYPD when they do monitor. So if your hours are 1 o'clock and you open at 4 in the morning, then you're gonna have an issue with that NYPD.
And let me just add, because I think it's critical. Even if the board approves a resolution, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that SLA is going to approve it. We were in disagreement on one particular license on 180 Street in Ottawa. Because they were requesting at 4 o'clock on a daily basis, 4 o'clock goes in the morning. And SLA approved the license. Even though the community board opposed that. So finally, it's the SLA that has the final say.
And they closed it down because somebody almost got killed
The word that I.
in the 180 and Autumn.
I think there was some other questions there.
Keep in mind also that,
SB Domingo.
buy, every year, or 2 years, correct me if I'm wrong, every year or 2 years? 2 years. Every 2 years, so if they come back to the board and you see an issue, you can come to the committee level and address those issues that you see. Right, I see there's a good question, what resolution did you, was it a no that you recommended? Cause I didn't know.
No, I'm just, I was stating my support, for the Inwood Farms, which is agenda item number 3.
Got it, thank you.
You have one more question in the room.
Quickly, I heard, would you explain what's behind the resolution of objection? Item number 7.
So the two resolutions that the committee objected to is because that the applicants did not submit a complete application as is required by the committee and the community board. That includes sometimes that they did not submit a questionnaire, that they did not submit the public sign. We are very strict to make sure that the neighbors will have the same when they see a license or a new coming up. So if those items are not in place, we will tend to reject the applicants. Not I think, very much.
Thank you, Isidro. All right, so for the previous motion for item C on cannabis, it is back on the agenda before us to vote. The tally was no 28, yes 11, abstentions 4, and 1 in conflict. So what that means is that tonight we are voting on items A through C and number items 1 through 8. Are there any questions in person or on Zoom? Because I know there are chairs that have announcements and I want to honor that. Well, I mean, I hope I still got a quorum, like. All right, I think it's over to our secretaries for voting. Oh, I'm sorry.
Joel Graham, on your last vote,
Yeah, sure.
we're gonna miss you, love.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Nah, yeah, it was about.
It was coming in my announcement, but thank you.
I'm sorry. Love you, honey.
I love you. Yeah, good night.
Be a deputy commissioner.
No.
She's locked.
But wait, let's vote.
All right.
Yes to all, yes to all.
Okay, Joel Abreu, yes to all. Jamirna is absent, correct? Richard Altman?
Yes, to all.
Richard Altman, yes to all. Mary Anderson? Yes to all. Mary Anderson, yes to all. Jay Baez?
Yes to all.
Jay Baez, yes to all. Jacob Annis?
I'd like to abstain on letter C.
Okay, so just say,
Abstain on C.
okay.
Abstain on 3. Yes to the rest.
Abstain on C, abstain on 3,
Yes.
and yes to the rest?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Radia Barnes?
Yes to all.
Radia Barnes, yes to all. Wayne Benjamin?
Abstain, let's see, yes to the rest.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, this is so small today. Abstain on C, yes to the rest. Jim Berlin,
Yes to all.
Jim Berlin, yes to all. John Benitez is absent, correct? John Benitez is absent.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Danny Bonilla,
Yes to all.
Danny Bonilla, yes to all. Hector Bonilla,
Yes to all.
Hector Bonilla, yes to all. Elisa Bueno,
Yes to all except for the one from the Transportation Committee, which I abstained due to a conflict.
No, you don't abstain.
We don't need 4 voices, y'all. He is in conflict, just say that.
okay, so B, conflict of interest, and yes to the rest, correct?
Correct, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, I'm gonna ask that while people are voting, let the person who is voting respond. No cross talking. Nobody likes hearing me say it, and I don't like to keep saying it. It is so disrespectful, I just cannot tolerate it anymore. Enough. Darrell Cochran,
Staying on, C, yes to the rest.
Darrell Cochran, abstain on C, yes to rest. Darley Corneal,
Yes to the rest.
Darley Corneal, abstain on C, yes to the rest. Correct? Nobles Crawford? Nobles.
He said, he messaged that he's hopping on his phone, so.
Okay. All right. This is so small. Robin Cruz?
Yes to all.
Robin Cruz? Yes to all. Stephen De Jesus? Stephen, I'm sorry, it says Stephen on here, so I apologize. Let me just make a note that that needs to be corrected.
Conflict on B, yes to the rest.
Conflict of interest on B, and yes to. I'm not speaking Esperanto. I don't understand. So Stefan, we're gonna do that again. Conflict on B and yes to the rest. Catherine Diaz,
Conflict on C, because I work at OCM, and then yes, the rest.
conflict on C, yes to the rest. I'm sorry. Noemi Diaz,
Transport.
yes to all. Domingo Estevez, Domingo Estevez, yes to all. I'm sorry, Noemi, you said yes to all.
Ma'am.
Erwin Fernandez,
Yes to all.
yes to all. Luana Ferrara,
Yes to all, and Steve, it needs to state his conflict. Stefan, I'm so sorry.
Point of order, Madam Chairman. When you have a conflict, you have to tell us precisely what the conflict is. You can't just say conflict. You have to say, because I work for the agency, or because my brother-in-law owns the store, or whatever. You can't just say you have a conflict. There were 1 or 2 people who did that, so in the future, remember that.
Stefan, what agency did you work for here? DOT. Thank you.
And I said yes to all of this, thank you.
Just let me get there. I just want to finish with him because I have to go back. So Stefan, conflict of interest, yes to the rest. COC. Okay, let's go back. Luana Ferrara, yes to all. Sonia Figueroa Pagan. Thank you. So on. Sorry about that. Sonia Figueroa Pagan, yes to all. John Francis. Is that okay. John Francis.
He's not on anymore.
Okay. Jonathan Fermetta is absent.
No, he was here.
Oh, no. Oh, he abstained. Okay. Jonathan Fermetta?
Yes to all. Jonathan Fermetta.
Jonathan Fermetta, yes to all.
Yes.
Okay. Ty Fujimura?
No on A, yes to the rest.
Ty Fujimura, no on A, yes to the rest. Tanisha Grant.
Yes to all.
Tanisha Grant, yes to all. Heidi Zenson, no, Heidi Guzman.
I'm not voting on B due to conflict of interest. I work at DOT. Yes to the rest.
So B, conflict of interest, DOT, yes to the rest. Jody Herson.
C, yes to the rest.
Jody Herson, abstain on C, yes to the rest. Andrea Entriago, she's absent. Leo Jimenez. Leo Jimenez, abstain on 7, yes to rest. O.C. Camino.
Abstain on letter C, yes to the rest.
O.C. abstain on C, yes to the rest. Alexis Marnell, yes to all. Tracy is off. Isidro Medina.
Yes to all.
Isidro Medina, yes to all. And Megas.
Abstain on C, abstain on 2, yes to the rest.
Okay, abstain on C, abstain on 2, and yes to rest. Diogenes Montano?
Yes to all.
See how I say your name now? Diogenes Montanus? Yes to all. Indiana Porta?
Yes to all.
Indiana Porta, yes to all. Liz Ritter?
No on A. Abstain on C. Not voting on 3 due to conflict. The proprietor is a donor to a nonprofit organization on whose board I sit. Yes to the rest.
Okay, so let me get this straight. No on A, abstain on C. 3, conflict of interest, yes to the rest.
Correct.
Thank you. And Rebecca. Bruce Robertson? Bruce Robertson, yes to all. Steve Simon?
Abstain on C and 3, yes to all others.
Abstain on C, abstain on 3, and yes to the rest. Melissa Sims?
Abstain on C, yes to the rest.
Melissa Sims, abstain on C, yes to the rest. Eton Steinbaum?
That's all.
Eton Steinbaum, yes to all. Lizette Tavares? Lizette Tavares, yes to all. Thank you. Carlin Egbu?
Yes to all.
Carlin Egbu, yes to all. Anthony Viola? Anthony Viola, yes to all. Crystal Woodley?
Yes to all.
Yes to all. Wasn't there somebody? Nobles.
Nobles.
Okay, Nobles Crawford, yes to all. Was there somebody? Oh. No, John Francis.
He logged off.
He logged off. Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you folks. So the time is 9:35. I'm gonna have Joelle come on up, announcements. Key announcements from our committee chairs. So Steve, if you're raising your hand, I'm gonna ask committee chairs to come on down for your announcements. We're gonna get 2 minutes. I'm gonna give Joelle 3.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate that. Quick, Business Development Committee. Well, my name is Joel Bray. I'm the Business Development Committee Chair. I've been that for about 4 years. So just a quick update. So there was a concern of the George Washington Bridge terminal being kind of desolate. The committee was concerned with a few committee members, community members also concerned. So I reached out to the Port Authority with that concern, and it was right. He was right in bringing up this concern because I walked there and there was not a lot of activity. So I reached out to them, and it was good news. They had a representative reach out back to the committee. Her name was Jessica from RIPCO. Now, why it's been so desolate is because they sold the rights of leasing to this company called RIPCO. Prior to RIPCO, there were spots that were not being occupied because it was a difficult process through Port Authority to do build outs. So what Ripco did, they went in and they did white boxed the whole all the commercial spaces in Port Authority. So we had Jessica come in, explain this plan. It was excellent. It was a great presentation. So there's a few things coming to the Port Authority. There's a pharmacy, physical therapy, and a dentist. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of more economic activity in the Port Authority going forward. So there is 4 spaces available. Another big box store is coming. I don't know which one it is. But there's 4 available retail opportunities. If any business owners that wanna occupy these spaces, please let me know. But that's my report on the business side. Sadly, this is my last report. I will be resigning from as chair for committee board 12 in a few weeks, maybe a week from now. In 2 weeks. This is my last general board meeting as well. It was a pleasure to serve on this board. Yeah, good looking out. Thank you. But it was really special for me. Stuff like what we did today to advocate for that young man back there was why I joined the board. So it was awesome fighting for you. Thank you. My family was affected by the war on drugs. So that was not gonna happen on my watch. Let them know. Thank you, Alexis, I appreciate that, but thank you, Community Board 12, that was my report.
Wanna give a special shout out to Joel and the rest of the business committee. I think a lot of your interest and passion brought like new life, right? There were so many different presentations and speakers that hadn't really engaged with the board before, that I think you were really like adamant about making sure they come forward. And that's something that, is very particular to you. And also, part of our work. So everybody always brings their style, everybody always brings kind of like their interests and passions. And so thank you for always kind of making sure that small businesses and that passion for small businesses is present in the board. So thanks for that. Gotta come next, yeah.
I need a point of clarification. Are you stepping down as chair or are you leaving the board?
So I'll share with you guys. I've accepted an opportunity at the Upper Manhattan Empowerment Zone.
Oh, yes.
In the business development, I'll be a senior business development officer there. So I'll be supporting and being an actual resources for our small business now. So any loan requests, or anything of funding from arts and cultural to affordable housing or builds out of commercial spaces, I'll be able to directly impact. You became a resource. I became a resource now, yes. I am stepping out for the full board. You still be around. But I'll still be around. You'll see me still.
Motion to not accept.
Okay. We got it for me. All right. Got some weeks. Thank you. Who's next, Steve? And who's next? Committee chairs, going once. Going twice. All right, Indiana.
The psych unit at the Allen Hospital has finally reopened with 24 beds after a major renovation, creating what we have been assured are state-of-the-art single bedrooms for the patients. The hospital tells me that this renovation cost, I don't believe it, $40 million. The reopening of this unit has been a high priority for this board. We have advocated for it to be reopened since the former 30-bed unit was closed without notice to the community more than 5 years ago. The psych unit at the Milstein Hospital is now undergoing a similar renovation, which will result in an increase of 4 beds. It previously had 24 and will have 28 when that renovation is scheduled to be completed next year. So in the end, there will be a net loss of 2 psych beds in the community. Let me say that something else. The Parks Committee has been discussing naming something in a park for Sally Fisher, one of our former members and an activist in Inwood Hill Park. She also was an activist on the mental health issues as a member of my committee. And she was the one who first argued passionately and persistently for the psych unit at the Allen Hospital to be saved and pushed me in that direction. As far as I am concerned, the restoration of these 24 beds is my way of honoring Sally. Let me also say that we co-sponsored, you might not know it since the community board didn't do too much publicity, if any, on this event. We co-sponsored an e-waste collection event at Inwood Hill Park on October the 11th with the Lower East Side Ecology Center. We collected 2,001 pounds of unwanted electronics from 145 local residents, which is pretty good. And they were already committed to come back next year. At my last committee meeting, we also had a presentation from a group called Start Care about a comprehensive outpatient program, which they intend to create. They have an existing location at Amsterdam Avenue and 180th Street. They plan to expand their services to offer an integrated mental health and substance abuse services for a broader range of community members, including those seeking treatment for non-opioid addictions. The people they're serving today are people with opioid addictions. So they're going to go beyond that particular group. We're going to be providing them just with it. We're not voting on whether or not to support this program. We're simply going to provide them with a letter acknowledging the fact that they made the presentation so that they can attach it to the application that they are submitting to the State Office of Addiction Services and Addiction and Substance Abuse Services. Thank you.
Okay, question, okay. When are they, how do we know that they're actually admitting people? Because, to the beds?
Oh, well, I've been told that they are. I have to take their word for it because I can't go in there really.
No, I'm just curious.
You know, so.
Because there's a neighbor of mine that's having an issue, and I was just
Right,
curious.
that's right, yes.
So
Yeah.
it might be what's coming.
Well, the point, I just want to say that, you know, so now that they opened up 24 beds at Allen, they closed the other 24 beds that they had at Millstein. So until that renovation is completed, we're not going to have the full service that we need in the community, at least what should be offered by the hospital, which will they'll be back up to 28 plus 24, 52 beds total. But so we now have to wait yet another hopefully not a full year, but some period of time in order for the Millstein renovation to be completed. And then we'll have inpatient psych beds in both locations.
Thank you.
Thank you for your clarification.
Hello, Luana Ferreira, Chair of Parks and Cultural Affairs. Refer to the minutes and the YouTube live stream. Joey, you will be missed. Let's make the roller skating rink happen. Let's make Dolphin Park happen. And Alexis Marnell is at the forefront, pitching ideas and working on the naming of honoring Sally Fisher. And we continue our discussion in terms of what will happen to the closing of La Marina. And that being said, I also want to end on a harmonious note that sometimes the conversations are difficult, but they still are conversations, and they merit listening to all of the sides so that we can continue working together as a community. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Deanna Porta, Chair of the Housing and Human Services Committee. I'll be super quick. My ask, well, refer to the minutes and the YouTube video, but my ask of the committee or the board as a whole is please attend our committee meetings. We meet the first Thursday of the month at 6:30. I'm really worried about the transition as board members start to phase out because of term limits. And so really love to have everybody's participation. Jay, who's vice chair, and I are really gonna try and get the agencies to come and present to us, or organizations in our community to come and do kind of 101 sessions and 201 sessions and 301 sessions. So we really hope that you can join us. Thank you.
Can I motion?
I mean, you don't really need permission to motion.
You don't even know what the motion.
There's a question.
Yes, Steve.
I don't know whether Nobles is still,
He's
still-
not.
He's not, but I would hope we can get a message to him that he should take the opportunity now to invite the residents and the operator and to have a meeting so that we can encourage some dialogue between the two. Let's not leave it the way we've left it so far. Let's encourage that dialogue and try to make something positive come out of what happened here tonight.
Absolutely. All right. I guess folks adjourned and there was a motion, Domingo seconded it. Noemi seconded third. Entirely. Good night. Thank you for folks who were on Zoom and hanging out with us. Get a take it calm. Have a great evening. Thank you. Till next time.